and welcome to Third Rail Thursday. We are the backup plan.
Third Rail Thursday.
That's us. We're the replacement crew, backup crew.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yo,
I
YouTube's a little lagging.
yeah. Well, we have a guest in the basement too.
You got a guest today?
Yeah, we got a
Nice.
guest.
Nice.
Here we go, Mr. Mark. So,
Who
Mr.
got-
Mark, our good
got-
boy, he was live this afternoon.
He was.
He was, and he
What was he doing?
inspired me to look into my tablet control, and I figured it out. So I gotta thank Mark for that.
What was he going live? What was he doing?
Program Decoder Pro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was trying to figure that out, and he was using the Wi-Fi throttle that's available on Apple. That's what Sparky set up at his place on last Saturday.
Nice.
Well, I always couldn't figure how to get mine set up, and I realized I need to link the tablet to the Wi-Fi that the my interface generates.
Right.
Once I set that up, it works.
Hmm.
So I'm actually running the train using the tablet right
Nice.
now. So
Very nice.
yeah,
So who got the cookie today, son?
Mr. Mark,
Oh, Cookie Monster.
he got it actually last night.
Jeez. Hope we're gonna have some cookies for Smith Falls because every time we go to get a cookie, you can't get one.
Yeah, I know. Well, last time his wife brought the cookies.
Nice. Nice.
So, and his wife shared the recipe with us, so we made a few times. now.
Oh yeah, Laura makes awesome cookies.
Yes, she
awesome.
does. But now my wife makes them off. I actually helped her make them.
Oh,
Hey,
So
Mr. Ronald, welcome to the chat. And we got Floyd Robbins,
Todd Armstrong,
M&M Rails Mark, Willow Creek Industrial Spur.
Brian Ferguson.
Oh, great. Wig Workshop is in the
Wait,
chat.
Greg.
And Brian Ferguson, our good buddy Dwight Curley from the Curley Express.
Tuna Can, Curly Express.
On Train, BFGR, Lynn McCurdy,
John.
and the HDMMRC is in the chat.
Nice.
Who else we got? Awesome Possum is in the chat.
Hey, Rusty.
And
Roger Coleman.
Mr. Coleman, welcome.
Ronald Rondu. Comment ça va? Ça va bien? Pipi?
So I guess we better bring up our guest, eh?
Uh,
Think we're ready for a guest?
it could be.
You might know this guy.
Who else you got? We got everybody in the chat. Oh, Eric. ACRR. N Scale. How's it going, Eric?
Yep.
Willow Creek.
Now, if anybody watched the Repeato's announcement today, they are doing the GO train in N scale.
Beauty.
So anybody with N scale, check out their latest. It was released today, the announcement for it. It's
That's
pretty
going to
cool.
be sweet, eh?
Yes, yeah, very
Too bad
cool.
on HO. But that's good for you, N
I
Scale.
have HO, but I'm wishing for an MP40 in HO though.
Maybe layout number 6 will be
Yeah.
N Scale.
Yeah, maybe. That's no one here. Well, Chris from Whiskey Creek is N scale. So we have to share the wealth a little bit.
We got to share with the N Scalers, eh?
That's right. We got to take
There we
care
go.
of everybody's.
So yeah, you got a guest in the basement, I see, and
We're going to bring him
Sergio
up.
Thursday.
Third Rail Thursday, and we're going to
We
see
got
what
some
we get
big
in trouble.
and lots of cookies to eat.
This is the Monday crew taking over this crew.
Well, I don't know about takeover, but
Hey, look who we found in the basement. The leader
weird
of
at all.
the pack.
I'm about to make this thing Third Wheel Thursday. How's it going, guys? You
Good,
guys
you?
causing trouble yet or what?
no, not yet.
Yeah.
We're keeping it copacetic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Always watching.
And you, hey, Matt Osbury, welcome.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Yeah. So Chris has done some progress on his layout too. He's got a second level in.
Yep. Yeah, that was just
Second level already.
Yeah.
Where'd the
And
first
I
go?
think Anthony Dodge is in the chat.
Hey, Anthony, how's it going? And Freddie.
Our good buddy Fred. Now, Fred did a video this week too. You should check him out.
Yeah, I watched a couple of them. Did a little switching job, and I
Yep,
didn't see any.
yep.
And
That's right.
some bloopers. I like Fred's bloopers.
Yeah,
But I
Brian,
know
he is that familiar guy. You should know him. This is the new face of Mark.
Is this the 5th Thursday of the month? That's why we're live?
Yes, I think so.
Fourth, technically. The
Oh.
fifth one is next week.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. That's right. I jumped ahead a week.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been one of them weeks.
Yeah. I tried to set up my phone the way Mark did, but I kept getting feedback on the microphone. So I turned it off.
Wesley, how's it going?
Hey, Wesley, welcome.
Pedro.
Look at all these fancy layouts.
Fancy
Oh, yeah.
land. I gotta
I've
get
been,
going.
I've been plugging away today. I cleaned up a bit. I painted the background on 2/3 of the layout.
I got nothing done.
I can't do the last section because I filled the yard with trains and I have to move them out of the yard so I can work safely.
I built the she shed. Does that count?
Yep. Gotta
And
keep
the hot-
the she-
A she shed for the hot tub.
Yep.
To keep the wife happy.
Gotta keep her happy.
Fix the screen doors.
Yep.
What else did I do? I'm sure there's some other stuff around the house today. Oh, fix the hot water tank.
Oh, good.
Had a CO call Monday, which I almost didn't make the live Monday.
That's right. You had a seal monitor go off.
Yeah, fire department
Had
here for
to,
a couple hours.
had to remove a door today so I can trim it tomorrow. It's too because we put the threshold into the flooring down here. It's just interfering a bit, so I'm gonna take it outside my track saw tomorrow and trim off a 1/4 inch.
Ooh, I hope you get better there, Tuna Can and Curly.
Yeah.
Says he's got a cold. Did you move the office? And no, I wish.
Wishful
Brian.
thinking. See that? You even got Brian thinking about your train room.
100%. I even said to the firefighters when they were here doing the
Yeah.
monitor,
Yeah.
they said they had 48 parts per million. I said, was that in the office downstairs? And they kind of went, what? I'm like, well, where did you get the 48 parts per million? Was that
Yeah.
downstairs in the office? Because if so, I'm going to have to move her office upstairs and then knock down that wall. But I couldn't get him to bite into it. Really. I was like, oh, man, I'm not winning on this.
Hey there, our good buddy Bubs. Welcome, Bubs.
Bubs.
So this Saturday, Mr. Chris, you work for Bell Canada. At least you did this morning. My cousin Ed worked for Bell Canada all his life, and they're having their annual Ed Watson golf tournament on Saturday.
I wasn't invited, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I knew an ad before, but it was a talking horse.
yeah. But yeah, so I was going to show off a third camera on with my phone, but I kept getting feedback on it. So you look at the phone volume, it needs a little bit there, and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't want to
Marty and Edward, Happy Valley Hobbies. How you doing?
Hey, Happy Valley, welcome.
Mystic Railroad.
Mystic Railroad is in the chat. Welcome, Mystic.
How are you? So what are you working on there, Chris? Like you're just killing that.
It's in the manual. Yeah, what manual, Fred? I know I got a train running, and I got my $10 track cleaning working.
I'm just working on the position of everything and where everything is going to go. And
Well, that's the challenge. Is the planning.
yeah, I've moved the helix now 3 times just to find a place where, and you've seen it. It's like 6 by 6 feet. You know the base to it. I was originally going to put it in my office, and then I made my office a little bit smaller than what I had planned. And then I put it in the other corner, and I got to move it because I can't have it there. So it's been a, a busy week with moving the Helix around the basement.
So I thought you were going to give one corner to your son.
Yeah. Where I have it now, I'm going to build him a table. I'm not sure how big it needs to be because I got to check the size of the Lego track to see what I can fit because he does want a city. So until we have more room, he'll have a basic train layout for his Lego, but it won't be as big as Dad's layout, unfortunately.
We have 2 Lego train sets in the house. 2.
Oh yeah, which ones do you have?
How come that doesn't surprise us?
Yeah, well, I actually bought my wife. So
When he says 2, I got 2.
Yeah, but there's looking
the
at
Apollo rocket as well.
they Lego announced a new thing yesterday. I was checking. It was like building signs with lettering. It's $130. That'd be pretty cool for my making my graphics. Like I'll turn the camera around. You'll see my graphic train.
Tell Mark to look into JMRI manual for the answer to his question.
The other part, the layout, that part has not been painted. But this is my graphics train. Because I don't want to pay for a graphics editor. So I try to improvise my own.
I'm not sure what Bubs is talking about. Something else down there, but I can just imagine.
There it comes.
Gotta have the lounge. There she goes.
I'll back her up.
You missed it.
There's the caboose.
I'll back her up.
We've seen the caboose. Where's the Fred on the back? Leave it on the tracks. So I got a good chunk of it tore down. I only got this week and next week. I wouldn't even call it next week.
Hey, Harrison, SMT, welcome.
Had some tea. How you doing? And then she's night shift after the big rail fanning event.
Do I get to see the area where you were working, where you're doing the deconstruction?
Oh, it's a big mess.
Is it a mess?
I got sheets covering it.
That bad, eh?
It's that bad, yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
I get reminded every day. Clean it up.
He posted yesterday or today about working on his. Well, my project, Harrison, I'm trying to get my get all my track done. Like 99% track is finished. Now the detail stuff comes in.
I got a lot of track to do yet, and bench work.
Yep.
But I think once I get this Helix going,
and
then run into the Helix, it should go pretty quick. I would.
Yeah.
You guys are both still able to run trains, which I'm very envious of.
But it took me 2 years to run trains. You know that.
That's true.
Because I tore my layout apart in April of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are you doing now?
And when we sold the house, it took me a year to get the room ready. So, and then I took sick in April this year. That set me back about 3-4 weeks. So I did pretty good. And always looking at tweaking it too. But I painted the plywood a bit just to add some cleanness to the area. But the backdrop looks really good. I'm quite pleased with that. The background. You can paint yours, Chris, or you can do a sticker. You do your own man-made one.
So I made my backdrop this time 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
So those backdrops that I normally get, I believe at most are 15 inches tall. So right. I might paint like from like here down to about here black, just to kind of take your eye away from like this much of it. And then the backdrop will come up from here up to
How'd you get
the
that?
black line.
You can
So-
paint it like mine. You can follow the crew. You can have a painting session.
That's true. That's true. The blue is nice too. It really brightens up the room.
And a liter cost me $25, and I did. These are 2 4x8 pieces of plywood of MD, what you call the hardboard. I still got a little bit left, and I've done 2 coats. So all 3 coats pretty well, except the last section.
You'll have to send me the paint chip.
Oh, it's Benjamin Moore.
Oh, yeah, but the color, the shade blue.
Yeah, I'll give you a call. I'll send it to you on the can. I got the color idea from watching a YouTube video, MF Railroad. Now, he had used a paint that came from Lowe's, and we don't have Lowe's. So I cross-referenced it and got a Benjamin Moore color. I went and bought their cheap line, called the Ben line. The Ben line.
I got a big can of blue down here. That I
Yeah.
painted my,
It's so it cost me $25 for paint. Cost me $30 for the backboard material. I'm still short material for the alcove, but I think I'm going to use the Baltic birch for that corner because it's it'll flex more in the tight corners. The curves I got out of this material is probably the max I can get out of it.
I'm not sure how the cat got down here, but obviously the door's open.
Yeah.
And
Zoe's in the chat. Welcome, Zoe and Wesley.
Zoe and SMT jumped in, and CP Creek, Whiskey Creek, Zoe, Moonsville.
You should build the Helix live.
Yeah, thought about it.
Yeah.
I'll probably use the Mevo cameras for that.
Hey there, our good buddy Chris and CP Whiskey Creek. Welcome.
Well, this cat, I'm not sure because I'm not a cat owner until now. But I only feed this thing once a day. Here.
I'll take him if you don't want him.
Harrison's got a cat.
Look how big this thing is. Yeah. But she's a climber too. Here, you can
Well, it looks like the government stepped in to try and resolve the strike issue for trains for us. Let's see how that makes out.
hang on.
Yeah, can't even begin to tell you how nervous I am about with the barbecue
we'll be
coming
good.
up and with everything going on. So
Okay,
Well,
Bob's got his paint from Rona. I've been dealing with this company for paint because of work stuff I've done over 30 years. So I always go back to the same guy. No matter what it is, I just because we use a lot of paint for work, and that's who I dealt with, and I'd followed him for years, so I keep going back to him. But hey, ONR fan Drew, welcome.
Drew, how you doing? Oh, somebody else wants to say it. Come on. There you go. That's lucky. Real
Right. Harrison.
yard. We'll have more tumbleweeds.
Yes, yeah. Well, they were showing the yard at Concord. Holy cow, that's a big yard.
Oh yeah.
It was like it had to be a mile wide.
I bet there's probably 80 cars on the side of the road today. And one intermodal, one auto rack, and 8 Gevos plugged in the yard.
Well, I heard the trains last night at 7 o'clock and 7:30. And that was probably the last 2 I heard coming through the Dundas sub.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're back to work tomorrow.
Oh yeah, because the country can't afford it. But another part thing is there is a VIA takes 3 trains a week to a community up north, and their livelihood depends on those trains. So that means no trains, no food, no supplies.
Right.
Nothing. And it's just because of it's the rail, and rail didn't care. They just figured, well, I'll lock them out. So there you go. Hey, Hunter, welcome. So it's too bad.
Understood.
It's a game when it comes to union. So it's beyond our control.
There's the air boss right there.
I see the war bond in the background.
Yeah, I got some of the weathering done. I painted the grills and weathered them.
Yeah.
Did all the panels with the panel liner. And then I got to do the trucks and the spray yet.
Okay.
But it's coming.
I don't have to worry about weathering at all. I'll weather buildings. I'm trying to get better at that, but that's as far as I'll go right now.
Nice.
I got to change a coupler too. I was trying to hook up. I had another flat car, but it was I got it from Sparky, and it didn't want to couple up to the Walters coupler. They're one of those plastic, we call them McHenry couplers.
Yep.
So the KD and that didn't. It came to a certain spot on the track, it would disconnect every time. So I just took it out and moved the blocks closer together.
Okay.
But I used them for my thumbnail, my poor man's graphics page. They worked all right.
Yeah.
I'm working on an idea using Scrabble tiles too. Hey, PK and W Model Works, welcome to Third Wheel Thursday. This is the backup.
How are you?
I think what I'll do is I'm going to make a call by Thursday if whether or not the barbecue is going to still happen. And I'm mentioning this obviously because if SMT is in the chat there, I haven't really had a chance to reach out. I know he wants to join us, but if they're still on strike, or if there's no trains that are going to be rolling through there, there's no real point in dragging you guys halfway across Ontario just
we should use today's Thursday, so you're talking next Thursday.
Yeah, the 29th, I believe.
Yes. Yes. We should know more tomorrow because the labor minister issued order 107. That means binding arbitration, get back to work, follow the existing contract until we get it done. They're hurting. It's just not just 4,000 workers. They're hurting the country itself as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that would happen. The only thing we got to deal with the politics, and that's the only thing. So if the politics flow through, we'll have trains running.
Mm-hmm.
We should know by Friday, Saturday. They're working around the clock.
Well, yeah, and
here Chris says here, CNR always say they're back to work.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be back on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, according to
that's right, Todd. Poor Todd. Poor care. Okay, let's take care of the train people. That's right. We count first. We're it. We want a barbecue. Well, we're going up for hot dogs tomorrow at the Easterbrooks. You know where that is? It's the home of the 12-inch hot dog and ice cream.
I mean, it's a barbecue, but we're all really going for Mark's Cookies, right? Like that's the real reason.
Yes, that's right. We're going to see trains.
100%.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, Postmodern Christian, welcome.
Christian, how you doing?
We're just going trains. There's an acceptance of the world. Trains.
Mm.
We live for trains.
Lily and Laura be there.
And there's our good buddy Sparky 107.
Sparky.
Yes, sir. We'll be at your house for 4 a.m. or sooner if you change your mind.
When am I leaving? Next Friday.
No, Sunday.
Yeah, no, I'll be there Friday. Saturday.
Well, yeah, you gotta go. Okay.
Head home Sunday or Monday morning, and then go to work Monday night.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You're on So the Monday of the Labor Day Monday, I'm doing the live because you'll be working.
I'll be working.
Yeah.
And then I'll see you with new updates and the new show
Yep.
in October. New season.
I mean, I can be looking for yes. Okay, Mark, we'll be waiting for you.
I'm gonna bring the tent too.
The tent? You gonna camp out on the street somewhere?
No, I mean the what do you call that, gazebo or whatever?
Oh, because I had one of those. I gave it to the family in our family in Kingston for the our Thanksgiving get together.
Yeah, keep you in the shade. You know what I mean? Derek, how's it
Yeah,
going?
that's when they set up the booze, the drinking
Yeah.
party.
Those should be
Yeah.
on sale now, eh? Now that it's the end of summer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They're finding a bunch of stuff on sale. I imagine.
Yeah. Our good friend Mr. Anthony Dodge is in the chat. Welcome. Floyd Robbins, welcome, Floyd. I missed you earlier. Yeah, so next Thursday, Chris, you're going live, right? It's your turn.
Well, it'll be GVO After Dark, so
Yeah,
Mark
this
and
is
I will probably do a live show.
Okay.
GVO
Check
after
the
that.
memo there, Mark, just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Nice.
No, it'll be a lot of fun. I know if you notice I put down my name as Jag and DJ. DJ is just short for Dundas Junction, but Jag is actually my call sign for Duke Electric.
Oh, I'm still laughing
Is
about that.
So is your DJ name DJ Jag or what?
No, it was actually
Yeah, DJ Jack.
it was actually G and J disc jockey services.
Oh, neat.
Because G and J, George and James.
See, I don't even think I knew that that you used to DJ. I don't think it's ever come up until I saw Mark's funny little quip there.
Well, believe it or not, we used to give thanks, Sparky. We used to go out and do DJing, but we also did photography. Because I was sort of an amateur professional photographer. Yeah, Mick Jagger. So we would go out and do the wedding, the photography, and the DJing for the weddings. I did a couple of weddings over the years. It's more of a hobby, but I did study photography at school. Besides, I studied woodworking and I studied photography, and of course, I studied electrical too.
That's a lot of years of experience.
Cut it right from sides. I'm not sure. Just that.
You didn't do welding in school either?
Well, we practiced well. I had to learn how to do some sort of welding because of the repair thing. Like I remember Harrison doing a video talking about the motors in our trains, the commutator. We, believe it or not, we had to go out to Nelson Steel because they decided to use a 100-ton crane to remove a motor.
Oof.
Well, they forgot to unbolt it. So they broke it in a few pieces. So we had to repair that and assemble it back on site. So, but we did welding mostly because for testing the welders that we fix. Used to fix a lot of what you call torpedo welders. Lincoln made a torpedo welder. There were a DC motor inside, and they used to. If you want a good hot weld, they produce a good arc. Just scratch records, GA. Well, we didn't use records back then. We used tapes. I used to have a linear tracking turntable, and I recorded the records to the tape.
No vinyl, eh?
No.
Vinyl sounds amazing.
Oh, I know. I have a vinyl. I have a turntable still. But the Maxell made 23-minute aside tapes. So we used to put 3 songs on each side of the tape. So we can have quicker access to the music. Tape track, yeah. And we use cassettes for everything. Like today, they use modern. They're using CDs now. You can control what you're doing with a computer. But yeah,
my wife's grandmother actually used to work for RCA, so
Right.
she would press vinyls, and we have a whole bunch that she had pressed of, like, let's say Elvis Presley, like singles and all that.
Yeah.
That you cannot go out to the store and buy, basically.
No,
And we've got like stacks of them.
No 8-track tapes. I had that. I had an 8-track player. But yeah, that's what we did. I had a linear tracking turntable made by Technics. I bought that in 1978. Back then it was $500. And the needle, your hands never touched the record. So when we moved into this house, I gave away 545s. 500 that was only been played once. Because I recorded everything. In linear tracking turntable, you didn't have to touch the 45 other than putting it on the disc. That was it. And I recorded it. I used to have a reel-to-reel too one time. I used to be into a lot of audio way back then. We built speakers. Well, you remember, Canada's Wonderland, they had an amplifier called an Alpha 440. They had 2 of them. Well, we had 1. And because of the high, and we bought speakers called Studio Lab Speaker. They were made in Toronto. And we had to modify the speakers because the highs were too high on the horns. And we used to use 12-volt light bulb cars for fuses. And they would glow from the current draw. But yes, I've done a lot over my lifetime, I tell you.
I used to DJ as well, but when I had started, that's when the digital stuff was, big, and I had 2 vinyl players that you would put. It's like a blank disc, like a blank vinyl disc onto it, and then your mixer was connected to your laptop. So I was running programs like Scratch Live. So you're playing the music that's on your laptop, but it's coming out onto the vinyl, and then when you scratch the vinyl, you're actually scratching the song that you're playing through your laptop.
Yeah.
And that way it's easier to take more music with you because it's all stored on.
Right. Like I used to have Derek's talking about media computer. I used to have an Atari computer. And that's dating way back because I literally wrote a program on my Atari to do my income tax.
So you would DJ with an Atari?
Atari computers.
Atari computers.
Yeah, and I did have a reel-to-reel tape player. I had a Toshiba 4-track stereo. That I gave it away. I got it. It was given back to me, and I got rid of it again. But yeah, what you got there, Chris?
An EJ&E. It's one of the heritage units.
I have one of those.
I haven't really had a chance to
My
unbox.
train I got derailed, so I turned it off for a minute.
That's Intermountain?
Yeah.
They just put a UP on there, but I guess I got to program it because it's not 003 or the unit number. Unless I got it in the contest that I don't know about. That's a nice looking locomotive. Take that one off.
They run really well too. I like that. When you got yours, did you get all these extra handrails and whatnot too?
Yes.
I
I'm not
wonder
sure why, but You got lots of extras.
Yeah, I don't know why they give you extra handrails. I mean, it's nice of them to do that, but I have no idea why they do
Greg
that.
wants to see my train, so I'm gonna change my camera around. And you can chat.
Thanks, Floyd. They look good, and they run really, really well as well. Bubs, it's funny that you mentioned that. I was out of nowhere. I mentioned that to Mark earlier, and he got really mad. He's like, "Why do you do this to me?"
What you do to him?
Because Bowser, they re-released or they're relaunching their SD40-2Ws because they had already announced them like a while ago.
So my ST40s are not the W.
No, the wide cab. No, the new those ones there. I think they're more of a CP version.
Yeah, it might be.
Where the ones that are coming out next are the CN version, where it has a wide cab, safety cab, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, mine are these are the SD4. I got in Ontario Northland. It's not like I can show you. I volunteered to take this apart. I'll change that. Can you leave the camera there? Can you see that?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
Well, we have a theater in the city called the Westdale Theater, and they were remodeling it. These are tickets from the Westdale Theater. They're 30 cents a piece. Well, I helped volunteer to dismantle the electrical in the projector room. And so as a fundraiser, they were selling, because I found boxes and boxes of tickets, and so they put them in frames. And they sold to raise money for the theater, and I got 10 of them.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I spent 3 or 4 weekends to help dismantle the theater so they can remodel it, bring it up to today's standards and modern projection equipment too. Because I used to fix the motors on projectors. They were a DC motor. Same thing as in our trains, only different application.
Yeah, isn't it mostly just like a light bulb that's in there? And
they have a motor that controls the reels going to move the film.
Yeah,
there's a motor for that. Well, it's got a bulb. It's a high intensity bulb. It's not a standard light bulb, that's for sure. But they had motors to control the projector. Of course, the wiring was a spaghetti nightmare, though. Not knowing where anything is. That's a problem with electrical. You don't know where everything's located. You got to be very careful. But you just can't go cutting wires. I've done that before, though. But I was looking through my trains. And I thought I unboxed this guy here.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, this came from Otter Valley Railroad, believe it or not. I bought it 2 years ago. I was wrong. I only had 6 GP38s.
Only.
Only.
You're very casual about it. It's hilarious. I only have 6. I wanted 8, but I ended up with 6.
I like that one that Mark got, that
Santa Fe.
Oh yeah, and I was looking at the BNSF that Lauren has. They're DC only right now. It's always got left. That's okay. But I can put in a non-sound chip just to make Mikey happy. Because I turn them off here anyhow. But this is This is a cool locomotive. Let me turn this camera down like this. It's upside down though. There, you can see that better there.
I can see it.
Isn't that a beauty?
She's beginning. Hang on. I gotta do some doctoring.
Doctoring?
Yeah, I must have a couple locomotives in contests or something because they start up, but now no movement.
So what did Bob say? I need to put a black stripe through the Sioux logo and put a small CP above the road number. That's who owns it now, Bubs? Oh, super weathered? Oh yeah. I don't have any weathered trains. Mine's are all clean and shiny. They're polished. But
Yeah, I still find it very difficult to want to weather a locomotive.
yeah.
They look so good when they're weathered, but it's like I find it so difficult.
I know.
I wanted Perry to do my heritage units, but I haven't had a chance because, of course, you know,
Yeah.
the moving and all that fun stuff. So, and then when I get my MP36, I need him to repaint it for me. So he'll be busy doing that. Someday, though. Someday.
Someday.
They're just so nice.
If I had to run.
I'm working in the background.
You work in the background?
Yeah, I'm trying to see why. I must have had these in the contest at one time on the layout.
Oh yeah. Wonder what I always thought Arthur and Genesis when they come brand new they have B3 would be your local number.
Yeah, 003.
Yeah.
But if you've had, I think I might have had these out of the box once.
You know, but I have trying to get this new one to run and it's not working.
So I'll just go to program. Clear. This thing's loud for right out of the box.
I still haven't had a chance to run my Jeep set that I got from Sparky, and I'm like dying to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I even told Mark, I'm like, Mark, I need you to run some of my locos for me. If you want to borrow any, just swing by and
Break them in.
pick through my stuff.
it was programmed to the road number. Does Lauren does that at the store once sometimes? Arthur and Janice is programmed to the road number.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, if you ask him, he will.
Well, I
Well, they
don't
usually
remember
get
asking.
Dr. Diesel to do that, right?
Oh,
Do.
Oh yeah, that's true. I have to order a rail crew as well.
got a beacon on it too. I don't know what the code for the beacon. But that track is dirty too. I haven't cleaned that track.
There we go. Okay, one done. Number 2.
Number 2.
Maybe. That's why it's nice to have program track.
I have a program tracks on the other side of the layout though.
Doo-doo-doo. And that does happen if you don't get them off of contest. You won't be able to do anything. So always make sure you clear your contest.
Have you mastered that proto throttle yet?
Oh, I love it.
Very tempting. Very tempting.
I got the my 2 UWT 50s going, and then I have my tablet going, so I got 3 throttles plus my NCE version. So I got enough throttles to last me for a while. I'm gonna get to see what the instructions say for the lighting on this little baby. Got a
Dang,
beacon.
in business.
What's that?
I should be in business.
You should be in business.
Well, I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
What kind of business?
Like these locomotives should work now. That's probably what happened. I probably had them in the contest.
Okay.
Okay, let's grab them now.
So we'll see what it says for lighting. F5, F6.
I always forget to remove them from the consist when I'm done playing with them.
Yeah. And then you're like, why isn't this working? Okay, fire up the proto throttle. Proto throttle. Let's talk about it. 1997. 19. Save.
Good night, Edward. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, horn works.
You got a horn. So I'm not sure how everything's working on this, guys. But the headlight is
Proto throttle is working.
there we go.
Now I just got to do the lights. But yeah, I just got a second one the other day. Just in case you come over.
Bubs, I'm still waiting for that roster video.
Yeah, how many locomotives Bub say he had?
He says he has about 50. Most of which are CP or VIA, I believe. I don't think he has... well, he has a couple of CN. I don't think he has a lot of CN. It's mostly CP and VIA.
Well, you're talking about primers. When I did my building kits, I bought the AK airbrush primer, and that's really good stuff. If you're airbrushing, I try to avoid using aerosols.
He's got about 15 CN, he says.
Only 15. What type of C? I didn't hear the first part.
Okay, Anthony Dodge, take care. So there's the first one.
I never tried that one, but I do like the AK. I think the Vallejo primer. It's a very larger car. You can buy it in black, gray. It's more like a rusty red color, but it's in larger quantities. It does work well for. I use the black for interior of the buildings.
So there's UP, Union Pacific.
Yeah. Good night, Anthony Dodge.
I'm pretty sure Bubs either got the new units or that he's going to get them. And I know Sparky got both of them because he did videos on them.
Sparky got the CP military units, and I think Bubs did too. I know Sparky did. I saw.
I think Bubs is still waiting for his to come in, but I mean, you know,
yeah,
he's gonna get them.
Sparky did a video on his on one he got, and I saw him on the shelf on his second level of his layout. They're nice locomotives. I have the Intermountain Veterans units, but
mine are all lined up. Got to put them all in the case still. Not Mark. Mike, are you getting any more of the Heritage units?
Oh yeah.
Now I did pre-order the new Intermountain pumpkin. It's going to have the same drivetrain as the one I got from Mike, and hopefully it'll have keeper lives in it. But it's going to be the CS 44. So
here comes one of Bob's favorites.
What's that?
Here she comes.
Here she comes.
It's funny how certain locomotives sound really good with the speakers.
Right.
Other ones, I got to pop up the speakers and put a scale sound speaker in it.
Mikey likes noise, so I crank the horns.
There you go, boss.
No one's telling me, push 8, push 8.
There's the 7021 Heritage.
I'm actually running 4777. Did you get that one finally?
Emailed him. He was working nights. He was supposed to meet me on the holiday Monday, and I haven't heard back from. I'll email him again, but yeah, we never met up at the tracks.
No.
He said he had a couple slugs too.
Oh.
That's the Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Ice War?
You need 7022. Do I not have that one, Bubs? Or is that the one just about 22? 20 I need to get.
That's the new one. That just came out.
Yeah, I'll get one of those non-sound and put a ESU decoder in it and put a scale sound speaker in it.
But if I was gonna, I was looking at the Kudo GP38. I would get that one with non. Well, it's all he's got left anyhow, but non-sound. And they're, according to the instructions, they're 21-pin decoders. That's just pop in, pop out, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to pop them in, pop them out.
No, I don't know about the speakers though.
Speakers, just solder them on.
Okay.
Unsolder the ones and then solder. Yeah. My Navy one has ESU and a scale sound speaker. Oh, cool.
See, I don't need to worry about too much volume because I just turn it off anyhow.
My speakers come in for the Intermountain, EJ&E.
Oh yes.
I got, I think, 4 Intermountain scale sound speakers, and
Now Mark's got a question here. 6 different paint schemes or 6 numbers?
different numbers and paint schemes.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. There's a whole variety of them.
Yeah, let me see if I got another.
Bob's be the expert on those.
I think there was 2 in that first run.
But they are nice. There are nice locomotives. If you want to see them now, go watch Sparky's video. He did a video on all the ones he just got from Otter Valley. Holy moly, where have I been? I don't know, Mark.
Mark lives under a rock sometimes.
There was 2 in that first run.
I got a Newfie rock here, Mark. You want to use it?
A Newfie rock?
Yeah, I got rocks that came right out of the under the arches and in Rocky Harbor, Newfoundland.
I thought they called you the other day and they wanted them back.
This is a Newfie stone. This came right out of Newfoundland, right there, buddy.
There's
That's
the
going
other
to go on my layout.
7022.
Newfie stones. But yeah.
7022 was the other one that they did.
No, you gotta kiss the cod you scraped in, Mark. We did that too.
Wrong one.
I even have the ducky hat too. I got one of those too.
23.
It's upstairs.
What's 23, Bubs? I got 22 and 21. 20 I want to get. I don't know if they did this last run 23.
Yeah.
D-Day. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
I think D-Day's next year, right? The 5-pack set.
I have too many THB, Derek.
Chris,
I have 7 and 6. That's 8. So that's 20. 720 is Air Force.
no, 720.
Now I wish Bubs gave all wrong answers, and then just to see if Mark would believe him and be like, oh, there's this black one, and then it's called like Star Wars or something.
Oh,
And
that
then
one
you gotta,
is?
yeah, to resemble the Death Star, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
and Mark will go online looking for it.
I don't know.
What train did you have out there, Chris? The Intermountain Jiva?
Yeah, these are all Gevos that I'm.
What are you doing to many of?
Well, no, that's not true. Oh,
Whoops.
I don't have
Oh,
too
where you go?
many. I don't have enough.
32, 37.
That's my
You
pole
got the
power.
pink one too. So how many do you have of those now, Chris?
I have the entire CN Heritage set.
That's
And
6
then-
folks?
So the EJ&E,
I have
the
that one.
military unit. So you have 2 military units because they did the 1 paint scheme but 2 numbers, but I only got
Yeah.
1.
Right.
Illinois Central, the BC Rail, Wisconsin
Okay.
Central, and then I've got one of the 100 Years, which I
Okay.
mean that's pretty modern.
So I have the EJ&E. I have the KCS one, and I have the two military units, and I have the BNSF one that Mikey had.
You got to get a blank one too. This is from their older run where it's just the CN noodle, because this
They're hard
you
to
can
come
put this thing with anything.
I looked around for the first run. That's where the pumpkin came from the first run, and I can't find any. I have to
They
go
are
for
hard
it.
to find.
Yeah.
It's
They're
the kind of
good.
thing you
They're
got to
good
get it when
running
it comes in.
locomotives. Yeah,
Space
they're
Force.
good running locomotives. I tell you. Like, I would never buy an Ather Genesis in a Tier 44 series locomotive ever again. It's going to either be Intermountain or it's going to be scale trains.
Well, even when Scale Trains announced that they were doing like these exact units, it's
Yeah.
like, but they want $400, $100 more
right.
than what Mountain is
That's
asking.
right. That's right.
So I basically got the exact same thing for cheaper.
Well, I have both now. I have the Tier 4 in scale trains. I have the Tier 4 in Intermountain. So I can put them side by side. Maybe I'll do that one day when I get them out of the box. Because that Tier 4 I got from Mikey, that is a beautiful running locomotive. It just cruises on the layout.
That was speed matched as well. That locomotive.
We haven't found the mate though. You haven't found the sister though.
It might be at the Wizards.
Okay. If it was speed match, I'll join it up.
So I think that's the one that you got, Chris, isn't it? You got 3237?
I do have 3237.
Yeah, that one there was weathered, speed matched, and I got a scale sound speaker come for it.
Ooh. We should do a thing one time where we film like my 3237 going around my layout, and then it ends up on your layout dropping off stuff.
There you go.
If that makes sense.
It might.
So it's not very loud, right? That's
I know.
running right there.
Mike's train is on my layout now. Actually, this is the 4777 came from Chris. It's on the layout now. That's a nice locomotive. I grabbed it one time and I had to re-glue the air deflector on it. So it's kind of a little messy off in my gluing habits, but that's okay. But yeah.
I think one of the things I like the most is the white cab on these.
Yes, and the antennas on top.
Yeah.
Very nice. I don't know why they haven't done that, Chris. I wish they would, but I have not seen it. But Chris is happy because the repeater is going to release the Go Train in N scale.
Yes.
But he's asking for someone to donate their wallet to him, though.
What proto throttle color were you looking for? The red one or the black?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking because we're going to Springfield again, right? So I'm like, if Spring Creek, right?
Yeah.
So they'll probably be there. So if I'm in the market for one at that time, that would be the time to get it, really.
Even with the exchange?
I mean, either way, right? Like, because they're in the U.S., so yeah. I'd have to. Because I was thinking, if we go, I'm not at any point anymore to buy more trees because, I mean, I'm not at that point. So I won't be buying trees this time around.
Oh, I can get a box just in case.
I came across some of your trees yesterday too, cleaning up. I got from you.
Oh, really?
You call them the super trees, some of that. Not super trees. They were.
Oh, the Grand Central Scenics.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta find a spot in the layout for them. But I have them. I got a few things to build. But no, I'm quite pleased with the progress in the layout. I'm details now.
It's looking good.
I had a section of track I was going to lay for a switch off the main line. I didn't like it. I took it out, and I took the cork out the other day out too.
Huh.
Now, I'm not sure, but rumor told me that sometimes Dundas Valley has super trees. I've never gone and looked at them.
Yeah.
I need to go and check out my order. I'm going to ask Robin about that. But wasn't the super trees last year sold out, Mike?
Yeah,
They went so quick.
it doesn't take long.
Like Mike and I were over there before the
Oh,
actual thing started, and we grabbed our stuff real quick because we were early access or whatever. And then we came back. What was it, like 3 hours later, and they were basically wiped.
Yeah,
It was either like 2 or 3 hours later, and they were completely empty.
yeah, that's
it
what I
didn't
heard.
take long at all.
Doesn't take much because the price of them is not bad at all. I think it was like $40 for the box, and then we got some flocking stuff too, which was another $10 per bag. So it was about $20 for the flocking. So
So you're
yeah,
going to fill up Lauren's truck with supplies, because he's going to come back empty, right? Going to sell everything.
we got to sell the Otter Valley cars and then load it up with trees.
That's right. Any word in the pop-up, Mr. Chris?
Not yet. Hopefully by next week we'll know.
Yeah. He said 2 weeks. I'm sure that 2 weeks is up. Not much chatter, that's for sure.
No, it's been quiet. I think the whole industry, except for the major N-Scale announcement today, which has definitely upset Chris's wallet.
Oh yeah. As soon as I saw the video, I sent it to him right away.
Well, I was telling him, I said, when I got my HO scale set,
Right.
the Loco obviously being about 300, and then a 3-pack of cars is about 300.
Well, it's more now. It's almost 400.
Yeah. So it was about $900 for a Loco and a 2 3 sets. So depending on what he's going to get, N-Scale I know is a little bit less, but not by much. Maybe by $50 or so.
Now, I was checking my inventory. Right now, I have 11 Go coaches. 11. Because I bought the pair off Mikey, and the oddball one went to your Christmas show. That's why I'm missing the one. And I have 2 3-packs on pre-order. And I was checking OBR's site, and they don't have much on available for pre-order no more. They only got the ones set number 1 of the new scheme. They do not have set number 2 in the new scheme, and they don't have any of the old paint scheme other than a non-decorated one.
I just I sent you a picture of the HO scale ones, the new
No
paint.
problem, Randall. What's that?
I just sent you a picture of the painted samples of the new Go cars in HO.
Okay. Because
Brenda, how you doing?
I'll look at it later, but yeah. But I might buy a non-decorated coach to fill in so I have 6 and 6. Because I can run 2 trains, 2 decent trains now. Because I have 2 F-59s, and I have 2 of the Athearn copies of trying to make a train. So I have those. So I have 4 Go locomotives. And I do like to buy an NP30 so I can have it done, but I'm not sure the budget can allow it right now.
Those are actually a really good price. when you compare them to other locomotives in the market right now, the low threes, right, compared to like some of them which are like 380, 390.
Well,
and
I
it's
saw. Sorry, go ahead.
and it's a pretty decent tooling. And for the reviews that I've seen on it so far, I think they basically knocked this one out of the park.
For the N scale?
No, for the HO scale, the MP36 that Atlas did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like true line tooling, but I mean, I know they had to fix up some of that tooling, so not sure how much of it is new. But I'm going to do a comparison when I get mine.
Yeah.
Because I've got
Welcome, Brian. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to buy one and put it aside. But does Perry, can he do all the painting on those things?
Well, I'm going to get him to paint mine because obviously there's no decals for it. But no. I'm just going to get other Go decals and try to find like whatever works.
Okay. But I would buy the DC version and send it to Perry.
Yeah.
Like, you not have to hurry. I just got to buy it while Lauren has still a stock. But the DC stuff doesn't move as fast as the DCC stuff.
True.
And then I can always sell my one of my other ones, my Ather and lookalikes. I have two. I have the newer paint scheme and the older green stripe paint scheme.
Yeah, I feel like having one of each would be, pretty decent, especially with the fact that the new cars are coming as well.
So I don't know why they're not doing the Go locomotive. Why is Atlas decal?
Decal.
Oh yeah, that's right, Chris. As soon as I saw it today, right away, there's a guy had an N scale Go set for sale. He wanted almost $1,300 for the lot. And I remember you telling me that one guy who had that MP40 he was in the States, so $300 American. I could have bought it, but by the time my approval got linked to that site, it was already gone. But it's in the States, and it's hard to get money into the States. They got to issue a PayPal invoice to give money. You can't e-transfer down there. And I had a guy when I was Rapido posted a link on Facebook about their new passenger cars coming up for the Go. And I made a comment, I wish they'd do an MP40. Well, this guy contacted me. I have one. And time he was done, it was $750. And he wanted to upgrade it to Lockdown too. And so I figured maybe $1,000 locomotive. I said, I don't need it that bad. Hey, there's getting back on track with Steve. Welcome.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
And so I just don't justify $800 or $1,000 for a locomotive. They might be good, but I just can't justify the money.
That's crazy.
I know. He was based on eBay's, and I couldn't. They're very rare, and there are not many for sale. But,
I basically traded my Rapido Tempo set with the cars for this.
Well, that's like $600 minimum.
No, with the extra cars, it's probably about a $900 set.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
I mean, they're up there.
Worth it.
Yeah. I know, like TLT Caboose, CN, Point Charles. Look at those. Not I had a Point Charles brass caboose, and I didn't like it. I sold it to a fellow down on New Front for $200.
There's that one that Lorne's doing, the transfer van. I found one, a brass one on eBay for $50.
Yeah,
And I was very tempted to get it.
Wow.
But the thing with brass, I mean,
now what's Chris got here about Cato? I don't understand his question. The
Cato.
temple, yes, Mark. But the True Line trains is not Temple. It's a True Line. It was a Canadian product or a Canadian operation. But
the Tempo was a really nice set and probably some of the nicest running cars
yes.
that I've ever had.
Hey, Chris, Mark, Sparky's got one.
Does he? Yeah. He has the CN one, right?
Yeah.
That's what the
you had the CN.
No, I had the Via.
We got the Via.
Yeah, because the CN one has the red doors on the passenger cars.
You know that's the name of the yard here? The Temple?
What do you have two of Go Train locals? You better detail it.
This one? Don, if you have one of these, let me know.
You got two of those?
I need another one.
No, yeah, I get first dibs.
James gets first dibs, but if you got two and you don't need either of them.
No, Chris, it's True Lines. It's not a Cato.
Yeah, that one's a True Line. Cato did the N scale version.
That's right, and a Lifelike.
And I messaged Cato.
N scale.
I think Cato said that they were doing more, but they were doing the Amtrak or the Metras in N scale. And I said, well, how about you do the Go ones that you did in N scale, do them in HO, because they'd be really, really nice. Mind you, I don't think they got permission from Metrolinx either, along with Athearn when they did the MP59, or sorry, not MP, the GP59i. They never got any permission to do those.
No,
so.
I got those two here. They're up on the shelf. I have the new paint scheme and the same as your one you got.
Mm-hmm.
But they're American because the headlights on the colorful paint screen, the two-tone green, they flash back and forth. American lighting. But I have both.
I don't have any more Tempos.
They're a good substitution.
Is this I'm not sure if this one does that.
I can give you money for one, unless you want to sell both of them. James needs one as well. We'll talk. My people will call your people, and we'll talk MP40s. Unless it's number 624, then James gets that one because I already have it. I was actually going to buy one of the Atlas ones and then just have our buddy Perry repaint it.
This guy here.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they got permission to do that one either, but I know that when they did the two-tone green,
yeah,
they did the locomotive and they did the cars. And the locomotive ended up showing up like almost a year after the cars, and it's because they never got permission to even release them. And I think they might have got in trouble, but
well, that didn't bother Athearn though. The other one I moved somewhere else because that's the one Mike picked for me. But I have both of them here. I had two of these. I sold one to a guy in Toronto. I sold for $150. This guy here.
James, Todd said that you have his phone number.
Oh yeah.
He wants to have a discussion.
Yeah, so. I know. Yeah. He wants to come down here and spend the day here. Maybe he'll come down. I'll pick him up in Aldershot, and he can bring the train with him. So yeah, but I have these. These are a good substitution for the True Lines.
Chris, that was like, I want to say that was about 10 years ago. Between 8 and 10 years ago that Kato did those N scale Go logos.
So this is a 601, and this 601 is I found pictures of it, but it is not an MP40. It looks like something, but it's not an MP40. It's a long ways. It has 4 fans on the top, but it's a close copy, I guess you call it.
Well, they have those in America. The road names that they did for those are correct, except for the Go. They just slapped a Canadian logo on an American locomotive and said,
well,
"Here
yeah,
you go."
but the 601 rides on the tracks in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not it's not an MP40. It's a lookalike.
F59 PHI.
Yes, that's right.
I had one of those as well. They're really good runners.
Oh, they're not.
At one point, they had a set where you get the loco and 3 cars, which I thought was really neat. It wasn't like a fancy box. It was just a box.
Now, Denny might be selling some of his stuff to help pay for his modifications or his layout.
Mm-hmm.
He
Denny is so excited.
He discovered that he used acid flux for soldering some of his connections, and his turnover is failing.
No way.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
I made sure before I started this layout that I didn't get the wrong stuff for that, right?
It's hard to find acid flux these days. Acid flux was used more for tinning, for tinsmithing.
Yeah, I know. But I double checked and I got it from OBR, but still I double checked before I just went and bought.
We used to buy rosin in its raw form and make our own flux. You know what rosin is used for besides soldering, right? It's used for the when you play a violin, or they use the rosin for the bow.
Yeah.
But we literally go and buy rosin in its raw form and crush it up and put it with alcohol and make our own flux. Because we used to use it for when we wound 100 horsepower armatures. We used it for soldering the commutators.
Nice.
So we need to have a large quantity of flux. But I don't know. When we were doing some big work, we were trying to find copper bars. I mean, solder bars.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted 50-50 for a job we were doing. It was hard to find because 50-50 solder is made for the roofing industry for eaves troughs.
That's what you want right there, is that stuff. I don't know if I can show you this. The stuff that Chris was showing.
I use 60-40 electrical solder all the time. I've done it all my life.
This one is tin lead solder, rosin center.
60-40?
No, flux center is 2%, and it's a 0.8 millimeter diameter.
But it's a 60-40.
I got that on whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Amazon. I also got like this neat little set as well. There's like tweezers, and you got like different solder heads.
Yeah, I was trying to look for the stuff I get from over here. I'll have to do a video on how you set up this proto throttle. It's pretty simple.
Now, this solder here is not China solder. This is North America. This is Kessler. 44 rods of the gold standard in solder in electronics, electrical usage. This is 60-40. 40, but that was a common number back then. You want a row of 44 rods in solder. There you go. That's it. That's all I got left of it, though. Really, it's not much. I have another spool of that thinner stuff for doing my rails, but this was made, used to be made in Canada at one time. Brantford, Ontario. This was made. This solder
John
here.
618. How you doing, John?
I was hoping for an MP40 True Line, not the PHI.
No, he has the two that I have. I have the 601.
Oh, okay.
And I had this. I sold the 602.
Right.
Because I figured I didn't need three, and I had I thought it was a True Line GP40. It was actually an Atlas GP40 in a True Lines box.
All good. All good.
But this I've used, this type of solder I've used all my life. And well, that's what I did for a trade. I used to have I had to learn the silver solder because we used to do these coils. They're induction heating coils for the Slater steel. We call them ball shot coils. They used to make round balls of steel to go into the blast furnace. And we used to wind these, they're water-cooled induction heating coils. And we had to learn to patch a water jacket with silver solder.
That's one thing I need. I need coil cars, but I want CN coil cars. And
they're rare, hard to find.
They're so rare.
I had a set of scale train CP coil cars.
CP, yeah.
And I sold them to Matt W. in town.
Yeah, I think Walthers did the CN coil cars, but like 6 years ago or something.
Right.
I totally missed it.
Did you buy the Walters Proto card for the steel mill?
No, the hot bottle car and all that? No.
Yeah, I got 2 sets of each.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the one that Walters was showing off today? The new one?
No.
I think it's from Milwaukee, though. So I think they said it was a Milwaukee steel mill car.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
Chris, thanks. Yeah. What? So Walters is what was it? What kind of car is it?
It's a hot bottle car. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you the picture.
Okay.
State Tool and Die Co. But
I know. Yeah, I've heard that company before.
But it's a Walters car.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's a little different than the hot ladle car for the slag.
Yeah. Well, and this is from 1945 as well.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Where is it? Coil cars encourage them to develop that they will become their first product. Hot metal cars and the Universal Mill car. All high quality kits. Something for Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Ohio, I believe.
But when you say dedicate to CN, but if you look on the rail lines, especially coming out of Nanico, steel coil cars going into Hamilton, you might see a CP rail car attached to a CN train.
Yeah, I favor the road names that I like. I mean, like the NS ones, the new ones. I believe it was Scale Trains that did those. those are really nice, and they're obviously modern.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind to add some CN ones just because I run a lot of CN now.
Right.
So, but yeah, also they're hard to find.
So we can't give you no CP stuff at all then.
I mean, I had some CP auto racks.
I don't have any auto racks at all.
You need
I
a
have
lot
no
of
desire.
space for
I can go buy a whole bunch from Sparky if I want, but I just don't have a desire to run auto racks. I prefer mixed freight or hoppers.
Mm.
And I got. You want a hopper? I got 40 of the Rapido 3800 hoppers. 40 of the puppies. And ain't counting the other stuff. Because I remember a lot when Lauren was brought. Time I go to Lauren's in the back, you know, all these Atlas two bay hoppers from Atlas. They're beautiful. I got tons of them. And I'm not going to get rid of them. I like them too much, but I just don't.
Brian's wants to know my thoughts on.
Yeah, I know. I just don't
Right.
desire that. I'm going to run the coaches, but I prefer mixed freight without the auto racks. But Sparky's got a whole drawer full of them. They won't run his Helix for some reason. So,
Well, guys, I got to jump off.
yes, I know you do.
On grandkids up there.
We got to pick them up at.
Upstairs.
Oh, they're here. Speaking of, my grandson is he's joining the air cadets.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
He's happier in a bit, but he wants model airplanes, so he wants to donate. You take them.
No problem, Mark. Anytime.
I saw one today. It was almost $400.
Mike, did you end up going to Smith Falls last weekend?
Yeah.
How was that?
Didn't you see him?
I was working all weekend, so I didn't get a chance to, unfortunately.
I got
John 2618. If you want some auto racks,
I got 8 alive.
Sparky. He wants to sell his.
I got 8 alive on Moores Road.
Mm.
Mosquitoes were crazy. I might have to edit that video because I was live for an hour as the train sat there, and then probably the last 10 minutes was train action. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It was busy.
Never a dull moment out there in Smith Falls. There's always something.
I know, John.
Yeah, stuff flying all the time.
Well, hopefully, I want to go do some rail fanning next week again. Cause I went last Friday, and I sat there for 2 hours, and all I had was one via train.
I'm clubbing it Sunday.
We have our regular church service, and I have the church barbecue this Sunday. So I'd be dead meat.
Nice proto throttles.
Yeah.
Did you get those knobs yet?
The knobs, yeah. I don't have it for this one, but I have it for the other one.
So you're gonna buy an extra for the guests?
The knobs?
Yeah.
Oh,
because you don't have a proper Wi-Fi interface.
I think it's. I can't remember how much the knobs were. 20,
Speaking
30
of
bucks.
Oh
interface,
yeah, it honestly wasn't too bad. I think it was like $30. Yeah.
That's okay, John. You can
I'll
welcome
probably
while
leave
you
that
work.
one
I would too if I could. But Mikey, do you want that interface? You got to decide.
Yeah, I'm still deciding.
Okay. Okay, Floyd. Good night. Thanks for popping in for a Third Real Thursday.
Yes, thanks.
Our backup plan.
So
Yeah.
who's live Monday?
Monday, I'm live.
Monday, Mikey is.
That'll be my last live. Well, no, you know what? I might do a surprise live next week.
Oh. The
With some-
Helix build?
With the Mevo cameras.
That means he can't have. He doesn't want me no more.
That's
You've
not
been
true.
replaced
We
by
can
cameras.
hear you, but we can't see you. That's the problem with the Mevos. And until they figure that out to go into StreamYard or how do they do it,
Oh, they did add an update, but you have to pay $25 a month to get that add-on.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Them hosers.
But it doesn't go through StreamYard. It goes through Streamlabs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Super frustrating because it's like, you already pay $400 a camera.
Yeah.
And then they've got these new ones, which are 4K. And it's like, well, no, I'm not going to invest more because you already want me to pay $25 a month just to do it like this, where you can use your computer.
Yeah.
So, no.
I don't want to give them any more money than you already did.
Yeah.
But I know my two cameras I have here, they're Logi, the 920 and the 922. On my computer, I have Logi Capture. If I go into StreamYard and at the camera settings, Logi Capture is there, but it does not, StreamYard does not like Logi Capture. Does not like it at one bit. Because if I had that, I have access to show split screen with the cameras, but it does not like it.
What about your the GoPro that you got from Sparky, right?
Well, I haven't tested that. It can go live by itself, but I don't know about other cameras on StreamYard.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that yet.
Weird.
I'm trying to master it as a camera for rail fanning right now. Not for here. I don't really need it down here. I have two cameras. I have one for facial and I have one with a long cord. I can maneuver around the layout and see train. And that's all I need to have. I don't want to get too complicated of an electronic system here. I don't need it.
Well, I can't wait to see the onboard camera, like the train going around your layout, but like first person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to buy a GoPro mount. And I gotta raise the camera up off the car about 3/4 of an inch to clear the bridge.
I might have one for you, but I don't know how compatible it'll be with that one. So I bought two GoPros about 10 years ago, and I have all the mounts and stuff for them.
Send me a picture of it and we look.
Okay. I'll have to find them. So it's the worst thing when you move, you lose everything. So I
haven't found a lot of stuff yet.
Well, I'll let you know once I do find that stuff.
Yeah, I'm still looking for things we put away. I know I have two N-scale locomotives I bought. I don't use them, but where they are, I have no idea.
Where they is, nobody knows.
But I'm slowly finding. I'm getting through stuff here and there. Well, Mikey, you said you gotta get going.
Yes, sir.
And this is a long time for a Third Wheel Thursday live. It's 1:30 on an hour and 38 minutes.
Yeah, usually they go an hour, but I can't stay to 10 because I'll be in the dog house.
Oh no, I wouldn't want you past 10 either.
Yeah, I'll be in the.
We don't want to spoil Chris's reputation either.
Isn't the new doghouse though? Doesn't that come with a hot tub? It's not. Yeah. It might not be a bad thing now.
She'll put a padlock on it, and then there you go. But yeah, I gotta go spend some time with the grandsons. We were down at the lake today, swimming down there, and then now they want to watch a movie, and then short day tomorrow.
Our fan, Drew, you're welcome. So maybe next time we go live, I'll unbox the ONR locomotives.
Nice.
Yeah, is that Monday? Are you doing that Monday?
Monday.
I don't know yet. Depends on how I make out with this moving. I gotta move all the trains from the yard so I can finish that backdrop.
Nice.
Monday.
So my problem is now, if I unbox it, I'm not putting it back in a box. So you need to have stuff protected to get damaged. So I just gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, Mark usually goes only an hour, so he says we're over the hour limit.
That's okay. He's still on summer vacation time.
Yeah, it's still past his bedtime.
And he went live today. The boy went live. I was shocked.
GVO After Dark. That's all we're doing. We're just warming these up.
Warming them up. That's right. And
Mark doing his disco. All right, boys. Well,
but Mark inspired me today, and I figure how to get this thing going here. So this is
you guys.
Mark helped me here.
Yeah.
Mark inspired me to get it working properly.
Yeah, pretty much, John.
Yeah.
I got to bail. You guys keep going, and for now, I'll just say take care.
Kate,
And what do we always?
you have a train to
always
catch
say?
as well.
I don't have a train to catch, but I got to keep
Yeah,
it on
catch
track.
kids. Yeah.
But I just thought I'd throw that out there for Mark. Take care.
Yeah.
And, he's got a train to catch, and I got to keep it on the tracks. And you guys carry
Oh
on.
yeah, put a hole in the wall. I got the hole in the wall here, Brian, from Mark. I put the hole in the wall for Mark. He even has his name on the hole.
Chris, you know you're going to be another hour, right? I'll watch you guys upstairs.
Right there.
Mark
That's where the hole in the wall's going. Right
Nice.
there.
I have it. It's in here.
I'll be over next weekend.
Bring the dynamite.
All right.
We're still working on Mark's care package too.
Take care. Oh, you guys carry on. Don't worry about me. I got a bail though.
You got to bail.
I got a bail, and you guys got
You
trade
got to
stuff.
bail some hay
Bail some hay. Adios, arrivederci.
and all that other kind of stuff.
Down the tracks.
Thanks for jumping in with us, Mikey.
You bet. Leave studio. Yeah.
Leave studio. There you go.
Isn't it past your bedtime too?
No. It's past my wifey time. You know. See, I noticed that your wife posted pictures on Facebook, and she did all the photography for you. And I said, Stephanie, excellent photography here.
Yeah, she makes a great co-pilot because I mean I'm the driver, so she has to take all the photos, and
Yeah.
you know I'll slow right down too. We'll be in the middle of the highway, and I'll slow down. I'll say, "Hey, take a picture of that."
Yeah. I want to go find some more trains. So I want to go trail real fast. But I heard trains last night, but it was too dark and I didn't feel like going. I was with my wife at the church.
Well, I was telling Bubs on my way back from Toronto, and it was like it had to have been at least 1:32 in the morning. I was seeing trains everywhere, but they weren't moving. It just looked like a parking lot.
Yeah.
Out there in Toronto, there was a CP and CN on the side, and it's crazy. Nothing was moving. So,
well, every time I go over the 407, I keep coming across the track, come across the yards there. When I went to Toronto in the summer, I went to, I guess it's off Steeles. There's a Y there that leads into McMillan Yard. And I went behind, there's an engine. I parked on the side of there's a good viewing spot for the trains, but that particular day was so freaking hot, I couldn't stay too long. But when I went to the Queen and Dixon Road, the yard, that was an excellent spot because they were working the trains right at the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know, we know it because too far away.
Yeah.
But
well, it's funny because every time we come into Toronto, we're always on the Highway Heroes there, and we always know, or the kids always know, that we're in Toronto or we're close to where we're going. When you see the go cars all lined up along the side there, and my youngest, he'll say, "Oh, look, it's the Go Via."
Yeah.
It's like, no, let's just go. But they always get a kick out of seeing the cars and the trains, and I'm always like, out your window, look over in the far side, and they like looking for the trains too, so that's cool.
But my other camera, I have a 300mm zoom on that in my camera kit.
Is that the one you're bringing?
No, I'm not ready to bring that yet. It's in the other room, and I'm going to bring it up. But I haven't had it up for a while. But I got to do a pit stop.
Oh,
You want to hang on for a second?
yeah, sure. I'll talk.
You
I
talk.
can, I'll
what you
work the
do-
crowd, as they say.
Yeah. I'm in a,
James left me in charge, so if I mess up, then it's on him. Yeah, very excited for. I guess it's what, not next week, but the following week, because we're doing that trackside barbecue out in Smiths Falls. But yeah, very worried about the whole strike thing going on. Been back and forth, with the whole like, well, do we still do this thing? Do we not do this thing? But I think that eventually it'll work itself out, hopefully. But I'll have to make a call next Thursday because like James and Sparky and Mike, they're coming up from the Toronto area there, and don't want them to have to drive all that way to Smiths Falls, and there's no trains running, So, but we did last year, and we had a blast. Did it the year before. It was, I think it just gets better and better every year. This time, because last year because we always make burgers and stuff, and I bring them out. I only brought half the burgers last time because I thought they were all in one container, and I called my wife, and I'm like, you only packed, so many burgers. And she looked in the fridge, and it was still here or at the other house. So I'm going to make sure to bring more burgers this time. Can't forget the burgers. And I got to look into one of those tents too, that Mark brought a tent, and then everyone was standing under that tent. So got to bring a couple.
I came across this the other day cleaning up. This is the Rocky Mountaineer. I rode that train.
Oh, the Rocky Mountaineer?
We rode that. And on the back, it's an FP40, this picture here, but see that open cab there in the back of the boat? I stood on that platform watching it to the Fraser Valley.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. It's expensive trip, but it's worth every nickel. Riding through the Rockies.
That is a nice one. I wanted to ride that one and the Canadian. The Canadian would be up there on my list too.
Yeah, and I took the Royal Hudson, which is not running anymore. I rode the Hudson from Squamish to Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Brian was asking what our thoughts are on the strike, and I mean personally, because I'm part of a union, and I know that there's many other people that are also part of different unions wherever they work, and my company almost went on strike a few years back, and that would mean obviously no money and whatnot. Yeah. But it's not a good. It's nothing glorious.
I remember my wife went on strike, the teacher, and I went down with her, picket lines for that, and gave her support. But when Stelco went on strike one year, that was a big strike. It killed. It's a chain effect. It killed the entire city. Yeah. Everything just shut down.
Oh yeah, and, for sure.
And the problem is, to me, it's not the unions that fault. It's the railroads. I'm sorry. I'm reading the news. They rather lock them out and then try and settle. They can't come to agreement. They rather lose the money than pay the wages.
And we're talking billions.
They were $50 million a day they were losing. And they rather lose the $50 million than trying to adjust the scheduling and the labor portion of it. Because it's huge.
Yeah.
But
being a railroader, like I don't know the half of it because I've never done it myself, but I hear about how hard it is, being away from your family, being away for long periods of time, working those hours that, nobody wants to do, but it's a job. It's a great paying job. But yeah, when something like that keeps you from being able to support your family and whatnot.
There's Mr. Scott Rails, welcome, and Scale KCS, welcome. Yeah, it's tough. It's gonna be hard. It's just because the two rail went off at the same time. It's not like having a small little company go on strike. It's stopping the economy of the country. But here's a perfect example about economies. Todd, he was looking at an apartment in Oshawa, a 2-bedroom apartment, brand new, $3,600 a month rent. I figured out if you were earning a minimum wage job full time, you would bring home $3,200 a month salary, and that's gross. Forget about paying for taxes. Don't bother with food because you're gonna starve. That's how stupid the economy is right now with the company.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, and for those who don't know why I moved in the first place, it's because over 2 years, the place that I was renting, they tried to jack up our rent $900 in a course of 2 years. Like, that's ridiculous. First off, it's illegal. But, what can you do, right? There's only, we'll take it up with the tenant board, but you definitely don't want to live there if, the people that you're living under are doing illegal stuff like that.
That's right. And some people live in an apartment building. My wife's aunt lived in the same building for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So her rent was low, and they want to get them out because they can remodel it and triple the rent. Of course, she passed away anyway, so it didn't matter. They automatically got out. But it's getting nasty, but the government doesn't get it. I'm sorry. The government's stupid. They have no idea.
They don't really do too much to help us out either, right? Because of all these stipulations and whatnot, the owner of the house just said that he wanted to live in the house. But there's no, even if he lives there for a month, he can turn around and rent it out again.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
And then not get a slap on the wrist or anything. And then he'll raise it however much, $3,500 a month, which is ridiculous.
There's a couple of horror stories in our area. A person in Burlington sold the house that was being rented. Well, the people who bought the house wanted to move into the house.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't move in because the people who were renting wouldn't leave. So sorry, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Big mess.
Yeah, and I think my wife is pretty worried too about, even me building a new layout, and because my family feels bad. They know how much time and effort goes into building this, and then they knew I took it pretty hard having to take apart my last layout. Yeah. I'm very, on the fence about it, but I can't sit on my hands. I can't do nothing. I got to do something, and this is what I do.
Recycling what you have too, though. I look at where I spend. Money is tight, and I gotta stay where I can and focus on the layout.
Well, but the good thing is you saved a lot of your material as well, right, from your last layout?
No,
were you able to save any of
it? I donated to a friend of mine, because that's how he makes a living, building things. So I gave it to him so he could live.
Mm-hmm.
So I share with the world, and as far as we try to share with others too. And he took the plywood with all the foam. He took all that. He made beer totes out of that, and he was selling it for, I think, $60 a pop. And and the legs from my last layout, I had them down here, and I figured they weren't going to work with the new layout because they weren't as high. I wanted to raise the height a little bit higher. So I gave them all to him.
Well, it's good that he was able to recycle it instead of just going in the garbage or landfill.
No, but I only kept a few scraps of wood from the layout, and I recycled into the layout. So part of my old one's in here, but everything else is all brand new. I built
I have not spent a dime on the new layout yet.
No.
So I'm still burning through material from the last layout.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do a lot. I will almost have my bench work fully done soon.
Yeah. Now at the time I had some money, and I built my layout out of cabinet grade plywood. Instead of using drywall on the walls, I covered everything in plywood.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do any kind of fancy joinery. It's all butt jointed, but it's painted. But it's good for anchoring things to it. Just screw it in, away you go. So I did that, but I did not do any kind of fancy decorative work. I just plywood, painted, done.
Well, I might have to take that recommendation that you suggested and just paint the backdrop, the blue.
Yeah, it cost me $28 for the 2 sheets of the hardboard masonite. Mm-hmm. It cost me $25 for the paint. I got some other paint too. I can do some work with the paint, but it's going to cost me more for the plywood for the alcove because it's $30 for a sheet. But because of the angles, it would bend better if I want to do the angle. If not, I'm going to put in and not do the bend on the corners, and I'm going to butt joint it, and I'll sand it and just paint it. Mm-hmm. That's fine too. But still, I got to buy a full sheet of hardboard. Mm-hmm. And if I buy a full sheet, I can give it to you, but how do you get to it?
Magic carpet.
Yeah.
Well, the backdrop stuff that I used to have, to do 40 feet of that picture backdrop, I think I paid about $150 to $200 for 40 feet. And that was 40 feet times 3 levels. So to do that again on this layout might be, not that great. I used the spray Gorilla Glue to put it on. In certain areas, it came up relatively easy, but I wasn't able to save all of it. I think I gave Bubs a good 20 feet, maybe 10 to 20 feet of it that was like still in really good condition from like the top level for his club modules that he has. So at least it's going to somebody that is going to use it and, enjoy it. But I still have some, but I just don't think that any of it is worth, reusing. Yeah. So to save myself the money, I'm probably going to end up painting mine as well.
Well, this MF Railroad did a video, and I watched it doing backdrop, and I used this ideas, and his thoughts were painted the blue, and now he used a paint that's sold by Lowe's. So I went on a website and I found the cross-reference the color to Benjamin Moore, and I went to Benjamin Moore and bought the paint. I bought a liter of it, and he also used 2 other colors in painting mountains, and so the forefront mountains are a darker color, and then the background, the farther away mountains, are a little bit lighter. But you still, and then you do your trees and that kind of in front of it.
Yeah.
But I watched another video on doing trees that's more simplified using craft paints and a stipple brush and stipple it. And I'm going to try that. I'm going to do it.
For the blue, is it just matte finish?
I use eggshell.
Eggshell?
Yeah. Yeah, eggshell. I'll send you the color. I got it in the back over there, but it's just eggshell. Benjamin Moore.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you next, like in a week or so. So just don't bother mailing. I'm not in that much of a rush for it. But
you're not bringing the paint with me though. I'm bringing.
No, you still got lots more to go there, right? So.
Oh yeah. Well, I bought a liter or a quart liter of the other darker color for the forefront mountains. And I bought a sample size of the other color. And I might get that color a bit lighter, a little lighter color than what it is. Because Benjamin Moore sells little jars of paint.
Yeah.
They're size of, I don't know, 4 ounces. Not very big.
I just see like the difference because you had sent me a picture one day and it was just before you had put the backdrop up or before you had painted it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool, it looks good. And then you sent me the picture where everything was blue, and I'm like, is that the same layout?
Yeah.
Because it's like it was a difference of night and day. It looks so much better with when you add the color and it brings everything to life, and huge difference.
And because my wall is all plywood, I can put the screwdriver where I want it. In fact, I use my nailer. I have a nailer, and I nailed the panel on certain spots to hold in place, and I used the number 6 screws and countersink and dug the hole deeper to get the screw below the surface, and I just filled it in with. I use Flex 90. It's a drywall compound, but you buy it in a small bag and it's dry. You mix it as you need it.
The powder stuff,
Yeah. You take a lid from my shaving cream. It's about half an ounce, not really big. I use that much and mix it up in a bucket. And
I have some of that because I did the mortar on my wood kit, my building, and I would put it in between the cracks.
I thought they make I don't know if I see the picture in this camera or not. I had a text from Sparky too. What did he say? Oh, he wants to know Canadian. I think his name is Darren. The guy gave you the camera car.
Canadian Locomotive Logistics.
I think it's Darren. I think his name is Darren. He came to Sparky's place.
Yeah.
But let's see if I have it on here. But I saw they made here it is here. You see that? Never mind the store. But that's a brick mortar made by Robert's Brick Mortar.
Yeah.
It's $30 a jug. But I don't know about buying it from how old this is, but that was from the place down in Mississauga we don't deal with too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The place that shall not be named.
Yeah, that's it. That's them, yeah. But it's called Brick Mortar Formula, Robert's Brick Mortar Formula. It's a tough little 4-ounce jar, but it's $28 at place that won't be named.
I don't know if that's just their price or if
Yeah,
if they sell that at like Michael's or something. I was
playing around with some mortar lines on some sample pieces, but the paint was reacting. This paint was making the other paint come off, so I didn't bother. I just masked it off and painted 2 different cones of color. But yeah. But here I'm gonna do the clouds, and I'm not gonna do any buildings, I don't think. But that's why I want about those kits, taking the kits apart, because I have space on my main line, but it's not big enough to have that deep a kit. I need to shrink it down to about a 1/2 inch. So I figured, I can build it flat. What's that?
How's the lighting? Did you find lighting yet?
I'm still debating, do I go Amazon and with their crap, or do I go to Lee Valley and buy something that I can get? It's more expensive, I tell you. It's a Canadian company, but because I look at Amazon, 32 feet is 24 volts and the 16 feet is 12 volt, but I have 23 feet along the one wall, and I'm going to put a ledger around the top of it. If you see the blue, I turn it like this way, you can't see it too much. At the top of the blue, I'm going to put a ledger.
Okay.
2 1/4 inches wide all the way around the room. And I'm going to there's enough space here that I can stick a locomotive or a car on top of that ledge all around the room for display. I'll put the lighting on the back, and I put a couple of key points in the corners, and I can do more to get wiring up behind it. Because I want to plug it down behind the layout, but I want remote control so I can turn them on and off.
Yeah.
So I debated, do I go with the, because I was looking for, well, I need an extended power cable on the Calic because I rated for 12 volts. So this Amazon is very, their information is lacking.
Yeah. I mean,
cheaper.
With the ones that I got, they're nice and they're bright and they work and you can dim them and stuff. But not a lot of people like the strip lighting. I don't know. It's very hit and miss. With mine, with the last one, I had all the lighting at the front. Right. So it would create a shadow, which I didn't like. Mm-hmm. So now I have to find a different way to just kind of run it and then chain it all with wire so that I can continue the...
So if I do in the Ledger, it's 2 1/4 inches wide. I can put the diffuser or the LED in the center or the center of that 2-inch piece. Mm-hmm. And I was going to buy like little angle brackets and mount to the top. Mm-hmm. Put long ones at each corner and a couple of short ones in the middle. It's got to hold the train too. Mm-hmm. And I can take it apart, take it off the wall to mount the lighting and work it out and I need to connect it because I got to go around the corner. It bends a bit. Yeah. So I want to be able to cut the strips. So Lee Valley, they have that capability, but Lee Valley is a Canadian company. They're more pricier. So you're going to spend a bit more on lighting. But if you buy stuff from local stuff, you're going to pay more for it. But if you need a problem, you got backup to support you. You go to Amazon. Depending on, you got to be careful you buy from Amazon because if you buy it from a seller, you don't like it, well, you can't take it back. You got to get permission. It's not the same.
Well, the funny thing is that the same lights that I have, Dave or Daveco, he had bought them first.
Yeah.
When I went over, honestly, like it made everything so much brighter. I love them. So I had him send me his link.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting, I think it took about 6 or 7 boxes at about $25 a piece for, I think each of them are like 15 feet long.
That's right.
In order to do my whole layout, my last layout. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of nuts, but they work really well.
The wall on my right hand here, that's approximately 10 feet. And the wall behind the computer monitor, that's about 5 feet. Mm-hmm. So that's almost 16 feet of lighting. So one 16-foot light would do this strip here. Mm-hmm. But I want to be able to drop the power in the corner, so I got to bring the wiring backwards a bit. So that's what I'm thinking about. Just trying to make it look neat. I don't want it hanging below. I don't mind the wire fastened to the bottom of the strip.
Yeah.
But by doing this 2-inch strip around the room, I can take it all down, mount all the lighting, and wire. And with Lee Valley, you can cut the lighting. They sell the harnesses and everything to do it. Mm-hmm. I think I do a better job if I use Lee Valley stuff. But Amazon,
how much track do you have still to lay for your layout?
Mostly I have in front of me probably about 3 lengths of track. I got track to lay on the peninsula. I got to run. I have a spur line running off the main by the into the turntable. So one branch goes to the turntable. One is a strictly a spur line that's going to dead end it, and probably about 4 or 5 locomotive track for the turntable. And that's it.
And have you landed on any industries yet that you're going to be spreading out there or adding to the layout?
Well, the only industry I planned is the space behind me. Mm-hmm. And that's where the tire plants. If I did the blast furnace, it would go there, but I wouldn't have everything else. Like you need 3 feet for the rolling mill.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine. It's literally like right here, and it's massive.
And the blast furnace, you want to do the blast furnace properly, it needs 2 tracks.
Yeah.
Or one's an elevated track.
Yeah.
For the high
Yeah,
line.
because you got to go up a good 4 inches, I think. Which means if you're doing that at a 2%, you need a good 16 feet just to get up.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to worry about. I wouldn't worry about the 2 track because this is a different. This is the high line for the feeding the blast furnace. You would have to shorten it down because you're not going to do 16 feet for the blast furnace. You wouldn't have the room for it. But I was working on an idea. I belong to a steel modelers group, and I was a fellow in the States, and he's changing pictures back and forth, ideas for the high line and things like that to feed the blast furnace. Some great ideas, but it is space. And I was going to build a BOF. That's what I bought all those kits for. I bought it all to build the BOF.
Even the ethanol plant, the buildings aren't as big, but there's more. Yeah. So it stretches out. And I think on my last layout, I had a good 8 feet, and I didn't even fit all of them in. Yeah. And that wasn't even including a tank farm as well.
Yeah.
So you really need a substantial amount of room just to be able to add some of these industries. And it's, yeah.
See, I can put an industry back in the corner behind me here, but it don't have any track leading to it. I can do a roadway across the track. I have a big space here. I can do some sort of work, some sort of structure in this corner here too.
Like you don't do a lot of switching. You just run. You run the train.
That's right. Well, the switching is in the yard, and I literally the other day, and I was getting ready for do the work on the background. I literally removed all the trains over there by control. I went moved all the switches, and I parked them all, everything, all on the track. It's
keeping it realistic.
Yeah, I moved them all right there. If I turn the camera, I can show you. Hang on. Let me turn the camera around. We still got bodies here. But,
show the people what they want to see. Show us the layout.
Trains. Now, I can't see the camera if I'm way over here.
That's fine. You're doing all right.
Hang on. You did it.
Whoa.
So you can see the yard?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
This is far as I can get. Oh, wait, I got another 2 feet here. There we go. So there's the yard. So the yard starts here from the machine shop. So from here, if you can see the trains, I have 4 tracks per yard, and I have a runaround track. Plus, I have what I call the locomotive track. Where I can park locomotives. And I have a track that feeds into the machine shop, right out. I got a car here. Right there. So this here's the locomotive track here. Goes down through here. This is a bypass. They call this the caboose track or another bypass track here.
Yeah.
So I can get around there. But I can, so the 3750, when I don't have power yet, I could exit this third rail here, out through here, and go on and follow that track around. Now into the curve, I'm entering the main line again. So I've entered the main line. The one I got from Sparky, the ST45, I could exit this track and I can follow the way around and enter the main line here. But I also got another line here. It's coming off by you see the laptop. That's going to go around and stop over by the light. It's a short track. I guess I can put an industry over there a little bit, and this track could feed the industry a bit. But the turntable, so here, so there's the lead track for the turntable. I can go into the turntable from here, exit, turn the turntable, and exit on this track. So I can enter one track, exit on another.
Neat.
And this is another spur line I put in here. And it's
What's that one for?
It's just going to go. It's going to stop here. I may put a little industry in the corner here, depending if I don't use all the tracks for the trains.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Vulcan machine kit I built a few years there. And that's the crane kit that came with the Vulcan machine shop.
How come your crane kit has a roof to it? Mine never came with a roof.
Oh, it came with it.
Huh.
Well, that's part of the Vulcan machine shop. It come with the kit though, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I bought my crane kit separately.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And it's the exact same kit because that's what Walthers does. They, take the same kit and duplicate it and call it something else.
When I did the hooks for the crane, I used copper wire for the cabling instead of using string.
Oh, so that it's a bit more stiff and doesn't freely swing.
That's right.
Good
and
call.
I built this thing here from junk.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a crane car. And would you take the wheels off and put a...
Yeah, that's right. It's an old Athearn glue box. And I took it all apart and I glued it together so it doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And the tower is from another kit, bits and pieces. And I just made it out of junk.
Oh, it looks good. It looks believable.
Yeah. And I sprayed it with some orange paint I had, and away it went. And so you see that this is my staging track off the main line.
Yeah.
It's going to follow the bridge. I have a turnout plan for here, and this track's going to feed into here for an industry. This track going to feed. Eventually, it's going to go here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm debating about taking that out completely and doing a curve. This is my max on the camber length. Is I got the sweepsticks here, coming off like that, and coming in and coming back into this. Just be another loop, and not have the track go here at all.
Yeah. So what happened to that whole side? Because you wanted to go down into your office too, right? Like, isn't there supposed to be another lift out there?
Yeah, it's over there. It's built, and the cork's on, but I just haven't decided yet if I want to run the trains into that room or not.
Right. Okay. So you're thinking about getting rid of it because it's kind of like a Y, right?
It is a Y. If you connect with a crossover, you're going to have a Y.
Yeah.
Definitely. But if I don't do a Y, it'd just be a staging track.
Gotcha.
But it just means if I do that route, it'd be a lot of extra wiring involved.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the engine shed I built.
Oh yeah.
So I have two tracks leading to the engine shed. And this is the other track. It's like a park locomotive. And I've isolated, this track is isolated right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's dead without having it. Right now I hooked it up to run. I just jump right across.
Are you going to paint your track?
Eventually, yeah. I haven't started yet about that part yet, but I will. But yeah.
Neat.
That's the alcove where the town scene's going.
Okay.
So there's the hydroelectric building that'll feed the town. And I'm going to put a roadway through this area here to feed into the town area of some sort.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. So you've been working on it now for 2 years, right?
2 years.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while to pull everything together.
Oh yeah, it does. But I enjoy it though, I tell you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun.
So do you normally, how many hours a day do you, I know it's just kind of one of those things where you'll go down and you'll just kind of chip away at it.
Depends on how ambitious I am too. If I'm not on the go, then I might spend all day down here.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow or not, I won't be here at all tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to try and get that section done because I still got the roller from today wrapped up. I make it may go hard a couple for after 2 days, but if I get it done before Sunday, then we're good. But I'm gonna move all the trains onto the track and park them so I can get at that area because I don't want to do it too much, hit anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But somewhere in the box, I have a couple of CP switchers I bought. I gotta find those, and I got 4 switchers up here. Walters Proto TH&B. Never been out of the box yet.
Steve is asking about the little pieces of wood that you use to lay your turnouts or your curves.
Yep. What you want to know? What?
He's asking if they're wood and
whatnot. Yes, they are. They're made. If you're into hand laid tracks, they're made by a place called Fast Tracks. They're in Dunnville, Ontario, Canada. They're called sweep sticks.
Sleep sticks?
Sweep.
Oh, sweep.
They're Fast Tracks. Do a search, Steve, on hand laid tracks, and you'll get them. They're in.
Doesn't Otter Valley sell them as well?
No,
they don't have them.
Well, they do have a version of them, yes, but you don't have these. I have them somewhere. I misplaced them years ago when I found them, but the sweepstakes, they're available anywhere from 18-inch rate up to 36-inch rate and bigger. Hang on.
I'm sure if you check with your local hobby store, most will carry a version of it.
Anybody that does hand laid tracks, they buy them from Fast Tracks. Now, there is a guy in the States that does hand laid tracks, but I'm not sure. But these are all. So that one there, that's 20-inch radius right there in my hand here. This guy here. But I also have 27.5-inch radius.
So do you just get one piece of each size?
You buy in packs of 10s. There's a 30-inch degree. 30-inch radius right there. I have 36. You mix and match them. You go like this.
And what would it normally cost for something like that?
Oh, I forget. I could check the website. They're not that bad. They're reasonable.
But it's all on the Fast Tracks website is what you're saying.
Yes, it's all there. They do all the tooling for doing hand laid track. Like you talk about, like if you want to do a 30-inch radius and a 2.5-inch track center, so 30-inch radius, the second track needs to be 2.5 inches less. So 30-inch, 27.5 radius. If you're doing a 30-inch on the outside, the inner is going to be 2.5 inches shorter if you want 2.5-inch spacing. But they're Canadian made, Fast Track. Anything to do with hand laid track, they have.
Yeah. So the name of the website is handlaidtrack.com.
Yes.
I was looking because I was getting different options, and it was like motorcycle parts and But I did find
OVR has the metal ones, and I do have them here.
Okay, so I'm seeing the sweepstick. So,
but
you get a lot of good options there.
Are not.
I don't know if you can even see that. Probably not. Let me see if I can turn the brightness down.
Here is the 22-inch radius right there. There's the metal one there. But these interlock together. See the groove there, the joint?
Yeah.
So you can make a whole track plan with these things. Really, in reality.
So 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch radius. Okay, so I'm going to because I like to do 30 or higher.
Well, I have 30s. You're welcome to borrow what I don't use. You're welcome to borrow. But I have 30, 32, 36, and 34. You just got to remember, though, when you do your radio, and I found that mistake too. If you're doing track centers and your outer radius is, say, 32,
yeah,
you got to shrink the neck by 2.5 inches. So 32, 30 inches not. So you got to do 29.5 for your inner radius. That's how precise these are.
So it looks like, so it doesn't say you get more than one. It says they have 11 in stock.
You get a pack, but they make them there too, though, eh?
It doesn't even say you get a pack of them. It just says it's $10.
Yeah, there's more than that. There's more than that. So here's a 34-inch radius. Here it is with 34.
That's odd because it's like, yeah, it just says $10 for a HO scale 30-inch radius.
But they respond to emails very good. They'll definitely help you out. But see, I have a 32 and a 30, so that's 2-inch track centers.
Mm-hmm.
You want 2 and 2.5, you need actually a 34 and a 31.5 radius.
Huh.
It's very important if you get that down pat when you start laying your track, because all of a sudden, which I didn't realize it, your track won't line up as nicely if you don't have the right radius.
Yeah, it's good to keep the transition, especially if you're doing something like a helix. You need to have the curve needs to be really, really good.
Yeah, and so they're. But I have from 18 inches up to. They also make straight ones too, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just use a yardstick for that. I think I've got it's like a 6-foot level, and it's pretty straight. So I would
there's a straight one there.
Put the rail right up against it.
Well, see, I'm working on. Here's a perfect example. I'm working on for Mark. Mm-hmm. His lift up. Mm-hmm. The problem is for him, he doesn't want to use it. He doesn't like using a Dremel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steve, you'll find it very good. If you want to do your hand laid track, there's the place to go buy it. But there is a place in the States that sells hand laid track. I don't have his name in front of me, but for Mark, the lift out gate. See, the biggest trick you need to do, you need to keep the track in line. When I did my lift out gate track for the layout tour, I just threw track in. It's not even fastened down the center, but you need to keep it straight. And I was using it over in the yard to try and get the track line in a joint. So he puts it in the center. So I'm going to make a stick for Mark, but I'm going to make it bigger so we can get access to the holes. Because what I did is I milled wood to the height of the cork, and I glued the wood down to the deck, and I drilled holes into the track, mounted it, and then I cut the groove with a Dremel. Well, with Mark, he doesn't want to use a Dremel, so you got to use nippers. So if you cut the track first, use a credit card as a spacer, put the straight piece across the joint, this guy here, put this across the joint, and you had access to mount the drill to mount the nails. It keeps his track laid. Done.
Now, so, Mike is also saying that OVR has ribbon track. I'm not sure how they compare to these ones. That's a ribbon track?
Yeah. Ribbon rail.
Is it
the
metal?
Problem is, though, that's a 22-inch rip, but you have no joint to control your joint.
Okay.
These are locked together. You can do a whole tire layout with these.
One thing that I had seen, and this is good for like if you're doing a straight section.
Yeah.
I'm not only am I the designated picture hanging guy, but I also thought, well, if I get a laser level like this, I can put the whatchamacallit, and I know you can kind of see it there.
Yeah.
If I lay this or have it pointing down, and I know you can't see it, I can see it, but it creates a straight line, and then you just lay your track along that line, and that's, it gets you from your point A to point B.
Yeah, I was using that too for my track too, trying to keep the track on my yard as straight. Problem is, when you start maneuvering track back and forth, if you lay it down straight off the bat and don't play with it, it'll lay straighter than it will if you try manipulating it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few kinks. I left my track loose on the yard so it can self-center it, so it can flex back to normal. Because I started soldering feeders to it, and the feeders are not forgiving. You can't move it once you got the feeders on.
Yeah. And
I tried doing the feeders ahead of time, but it wasn't working as good because the wire I was using 20 gauge wire, so it's not as forgiving as 22. But I had these. I bought these from Otter Valley Railroad, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I misplaced them 3 years ago. I found them about a couple months ago. They're in my little footstool. And I bought 22, but 22 is too small.
You always find it when you're not looking for it, right?
Oh yeah, you do. But I went up to, I'm 30 and 32 degree radius on my center one here. I think 32 and 30. That's what I was having trouble with laying that. I was trying to lay the track, and I figured that's right. On 2.5 inch spacing, I need a half inch more in the alignment. That half inch is very important in laying the track. But my track is not glued down. The cork is, but the track is not.
I'm going to take a similar approach this time. I glued my cork down and I glued my track down last time, but I really think that doing the nails for the track, very beneficial, especially it'll make it easier to take it up if I need to.
I'm going to show you a tool if you're going to do this, make it life easier. And Steve, if you use any rail, you can print out the entire track plan as you need it. See if I can find it in the first shot.
James is on a scavenger hunt now.
I put things away and it's in your work.
Scarm. Yeah, I tried both Scarm and X-Track CAD. I mean, I use the free version of Scarm, and you only get so many pieces. I did like half of the bottom level of my layout, and then I ran out of pieces, and I'm like, well, if I do this, and then I can come back and do the other half later. It's a possibility.
See that? The tiny little drill chuck.
Pinhole. Yeah.
But this fits into your drill.
Okay.
Now I have a couple of really small, I think they're 7-volt Makita drills. I bought years ago. They had a big sale on.
Yeah, I use
it. You need this for drilling the holes in your track, because sometimes now Walter's track is pre-drilled from the back side, but not all the way through. And
Pico's not. Atlas is, but Pico's not. So I've got number. I got this from Otter Valley Railroad, but I keep this in the truck all the time for drilling track. And that's because when I come to do mark, I literally drilled the ties. I'll put the camera on. I'll show you, because I am not. You buy all these fancy pieces for the track, and I've used it, but I didn't do that, and it hasn't moved. Let me change the camera on. That's how I did my. You can see the joint. It's so simple. Steve, have you always used Atlas, or have you always used Code 83? Do you have a preference? I'm just curious, because everybody always has a different answer when it comes to something like this, and because there's so many options.
See that, Chris?
Yeah.
So I glued down wood, and I sanded it after I lay it down to make sure it's level with the cork.
Yeah.
But my track, this is not tight. Look, it's loose. It's not fastened. It's lying light. I just got it. I drill holes near the end here. I put 2 nails at each end of the track, and I cut the Dremel. But the trick is, when you do the joint for the track joint, take a file and file a bevel. So when the rails, the car goes through it, it's got a leading edge to catch it, just in case your track, because it will move a bit. The bevel helps guide the wheels into it. I got this idea from the turntable. It's right in Walter's instructions, because you got a separate track section, and they tell you file a bevel onto the rail to help guide the wheel to go from one track to the other track, because they're not connected. And you can see the gap there because this has changed. It has moved. But I only got, this has got 3 nails in here, 2 nails there, and 2 nails there, and that's all. This is all loose. Now he's fast. Well, I got a nail there because that's where my feeders are.
Okay.
This is not rocket science. It's simple. And that was done back in May. I did that.
Yeah.
And I use this drill to drill it out. And so I'm going to do a thing for Mark, a mock-up, show him, and he can do his duck hunter. He's got to lay new track, but because he's not Dremel guy, he has to use a nippers. So nippers is easy, but you need to line it up. So that's where this tool comes in. You lay it across the joint to keep it straight.
Yeah.
But because of the hole is not very big, I'm gonna cut a bigger hole so we can get into it with a nail and nail it in.
I think one end of his bridge there, his lift out, is curved track though.
Yeah, well, you have to play with that the other end, but he's gonna have to learn to use a Dremel.
Flying Crow is in the chat. How's it going?
Hey, Robert, we're still here.
And so Steve says that the layout that he's working on right now, it's his first layout, and he just likes the look of Atlas Code 83.
Yeah, and so I didn't know is Atlas track saw the best thing that I like to find that tool, because I don't like using like Dremel is okay, but I use my nippers more than anything else. But I like to get, when you're talking precise fitting, you need a file. And what I do, I cut it long, and I have a nice mill file, and I'll file the rail until I get to the right fit.
I need a new pair.
I got a couple there, but I don't see as well anymore. So I get a dark spot and I can't see it, and I misshoot the nipper, and I'm a little short. So I cheated. I cut a piece of rail, and I put it into a joiner, and I filed it to fit. And then I put that little piece into the track.
You're using Walther's Code 100 or Code 83?
Code 83.
Code 83. What did you use on your last layout?
Code 83.
But it wasn't Walther's though.
No, it was Pico.
Pico. Okay.
I used the Pico Unifrog, and I had 2 or 3 of the throw bars fail on me because Pico made them. Reminding me of tin toys back when I was a kid, and they had little tabs, and they bend over for the crossbar on the turnout for the switch, and it failed too many times. I took them back. So I literally went to Otter Valley Railroad and bought all I can from Walters because I was buying. I changed over. I bought a few Walters for the last layout, and I was so impressed with it, but they didn't have much stock. So then they didn't make Code 100. They weren't a bit. There are now, but not as much. Like if you want a curved turnout, can't get it in Code 100. You want a crossover, can't get it in Code 100. But you want a number 8 turnout, can't get it in Code. I'm not sure if Lawrence got it in Code 100 or not. But he special ordered my number 8s for my main line. And I made it into a crossover because I want 2.5-inch track centers.
I agree with Steve here. I'm interested to see, this Atlas track saw.
I would check it. I know I was going to, Mikey bought a little hand saw from Otter Valley. Cutting track. I know. I'm curious how that works out. But I would definitely look into it.
Yeah.
Because if I can get a precise cut on track, but I'm 90% of my layouts done. So I'm not too bad yet because most of my track now is open-ended track. So I start from one point and I just put track in. There's no turnouts, 3-foot lengths, and the last track gets cut to fit the space.
See, I always like asking people what type of track they use and what code they use. I find it less controversial than, what DCC system are you using?
Yeah, it's like Robert said, that's right. Lauren does sell a line of precision tools for train tools. So it is a razor saw. I have razor saw. I call them a back saw. They're a fine saw. I have 2 or 3 of them. Like you can buy a razor saw from XL. I have one. It's in my. I never tried on track. This guy here.
Okay, yeah, I had one of the. Did you get the little metal thing to put? Because
I have.
Like styrene and whatnot?
I saw it one day somewhere, and I think I can find it again. Nope. I have a plastic one, but it's not as good as the metal one. This is a razor saw.
Yeah.
In the woodworking world, we call it a fret saw. So if you do fine detail cutting like doing a violin, this is what you would use. So that's why I have that.
I had one of those, but I think I pushed too hard because the whole handle just broke right off of the saw.
I also got this tool here. Look at this this crimper here.
Ooh.
But
that'll pick off a finger, eh?
Yeah, it would have cut off a lot, but it'll cut styrene pretty good. I mean, it's a trim. It's a trim saw, a trim cutter, cutting trim. But I have this little drill, and I keep this in there all the time for cutting, for drilling the holes for the track.
I'll probably need to get one of those because, well, like I was saying, I want to go with Pico Code 100 this time around.
Right.
Like when I started, because I'm very old school, so I did the Atlas Code 100 when I first started.
Right.
And I was so accustomed to that until I went to one of the local Ottawa club, and they use a mixture of both Pico Code 83 and Code 100. Code 100 on the main line, and then Code 83, everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I really like the look of it compared to the Atlas Code 100. And even with the last layout that I did, I wanted to do the same thing where it's Code 100 on the main line just to have that higher rail. I think it makes the train look a little bit better because it's a little bit higher up, especially if you're doing going around the curves and whatnot. But you hear about guys doing Code 70 on Industries, and I can't imagine working with Code 70 because it's so small.
And I
But
didn't do the super
do it.
elevated on my turn, but I did watch a guy in local here, because you're nailing your track. He cut cardboard shims in the shape of the curve, and he slid it on the outside rail of the track to get your elevation.
Yeah.
It's not fastened down. You can do it after the fact.
That's one way to do it. I watched Derek. Do you know Derek Glass?
I know his name. DG Model Works.
DG Model, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because he used to do a lot of videos. I don't know if he still does them or not, but he was showing his method, which I don't know if it's his or if he had seen it somewhere. I don't know. But laying a piece of tape around the curve and then doing a smaller piece of tape on top of that, going about an inch in on both ends each time.
Yeah.
So you get that desired height.
That's right.
And then putting the track around it so that it's leaning on the tape gives you such a smooth transition. And I use that on my last 2 layouts, and I swear by it. It's really easy to do.
There's a question here from Waycross. Well, you know Stephen Lotto. He said lives in Montreal.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
He's bossed up off you. He bought styrene and glued it to the rail to do super elevate. And that to me is a lot of tedious work. That's how he did it. But the tape seems to be the most common method, or I'm watching this other video using cardboard and slide it underneath the rail. And I didn't bother at all because I really couldn't see it going around. My vision is not as good. I didn't worry. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't do it. I had no super elevation.
For Waycross's question there, 30-inch radius with an 86-inch box car. So an 86-inch box car, I've never had a box car that long, but I've had a 72-foot auto rack. And on a 30-inch curve, it stays over the track, but it doesn't go beyond the cork.
Right.
So,
but
in and around the same, I could assume for
the Passionate car is 90 inches, right? 90 feet.
Which one?
A Passionate car is longer.
Yeah, I think it depends on the car, because there are
Repeater are not short. Let's put it that way.
There's an 86-footer, which is, I think that's a dome car.
Yeah.
But I mean, even for the Go Transit ones, I was running them on a 29-inch radius, and they're pretty long, and there wouldn't be that ugly hangover, where it goes beyond the cork.
I think my rates are 30 and 32 or in that range.
Yeah, you're good. Like 30 and up, I find to be the easiest to work with like less overhang.
Right. And I use the smaller radius in non-main line. Like that other end, not the other. I gotta make that. If I do that loop change, that's gonna knock it down to 26 inches. Because I gotta go out a bit and come back in.
100-inch radius. Oof. That curve would go on for days. Even like a 36-inch curve, which is, I think that's what everybody strives for, is the 36-inch curve.
Even your helix is so you're big.
Well, I do 35 on my outside, and yeah, it fits in a 6x6 square.
Yeah.
But it's like it's nice. It's smooth, and I can run anything on it.
Well, look at that layout that Peter Allen is doing from the Sydney project. Look how big that layout is.
Oh my God. Don't get me started. I look forward to that every single week, and I want him to know that. But
it's big. It's huge.
Even just the staging yard, like just to have that as staging, that's ridiculous. It's too much staging.
Now, Robert uses Walter's track and turnouts.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the only reason I went to Code 83 is I couldn't buy. Walt didn't make Code 100 at the time. So I literally went to, the pop-up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I literally, when you were selling the house, I bought all Lauren stock in the store and I cleaned up Paris.
Yeah.
I still got boxes. I got tons of extra and I sold some of the stuff I didn't need, a number 4s and stuff. But I bought it all. And the only thing I regret is the curve turnout, but so far they're working okay. I do not like the curve. The curve turnout is more for getting me access to the approach track into the yard, the lead track, I guess you call it. Because around this corner here, I needed track. I had no choice in that. It made a better transition into the curve than trying to go with a number 5 because you got to come out a bit more. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing I problem with the yard. The number 5 turnouts, you laid them out, they had a bit of a dog's leg downward slope, and you had to come back up a bit to get them straight. So that caused a bit trying to avoid the kinking there. Hey, DS Media Production, welcome. And yeah. But that's just the way it worked out. But I'm happy with it runs. I run trains and I get a few derailments. I think more caused by the stupid hook from the coupler gets caught. But I have a tool I can adjust that, or I get anxious and snip them off.
I know a lot of guys will snip them off. I'm not too sure if I know anybody.
That's what Mikey's Club does. They nip them all off because they don't use magnetic decouplers.
Yeah. So, does anybody use the magnetic uncouplers?
Sparky had them on his layout, but they were falling. It came on glued.
Oh.
You're back to using a stick, and I haven't done that yet. Well, Daveco does. He has that magnetic decoupler. Remember the horseshoe thing?
Oh, yeah, but you don't need. I don't know if you need the hook on the bottom in order for that to.
Oh, if that's the case, I mean, you find me.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna get him to try that and see if that works.
Yeah, because I'd be interested in buying. I'd buy one instead of using a stick.
I had one of those darn things in my cart, and then he goes and buys another one. It was the last one, so he took it right out of my cart and he bought it.
The bum, hey?
Yeah, I know, right?
Where is that boy? Anyway, he's not even here.
I don't know. He's busy most of the time, so he misses out on a lot of the live shows and all that.
He's got a kid now, so he's busy.
Yeah, well, because he's still at that age, right? Like mine are self-sufficient now. You know, they do stuff, but they don't require that constant supervision. So I'm out of the woods, you know.
Yeah, see, Robert Crow says, if you're prototypical, Code 83 is prototypical for North American Rail. And Robert, remember, he's 1976 KCS. Don't bother anything else. If you get this live and you start talking some other kind of stuff, they're going to block you. Robert is 1976. He hasn't aged a bit.
Does Walthers have the concrete ties as well, or do they just have ties?
I had a bunch because Sparky gave to me. I was looking for them. I was using from Mark's sample, but I think I gave them to a fellow out west. I still owe my Pico track, to a guy in he's in Alberta or somewhere like that. I use number 5s in the yard, number 6s for spur lines, but number 8s are my crossover.
Mm-hmm. Usually number 8 or a number 10 would be good for a mainline crossover or
a number 8 double crossover. You need almost 30 inches of length of track space.
Mhm.
Right. So that's why where this GO locomotive is here. You can't see in the camera view. That's the shortest straight, and I thought of putting a crossover in here, but I can only go from track A to track B. I can't come backwards. I don't have enough straight to do it. Because I like the idea of crossing over into the other line again.
Mhm.
Right now, to get to the outside main line, I got to cross over there.
Now, Steve is asking a good question here about mixing Pico and Atlas if they're both code 83.
Well, here's a good thing. What I discovered about Pico track and Walters track, because I use Atlas in my track, because Atlas makes, if you're doing a yard and you want to space the yard equally, Atlas makes pre-made track sections. They're 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 2.5. Pico track, I found the joiners for Pico track are too tight to fit onto Walters track. Will not work.
Now, Peter, is his name Peter? I think it's Peter.
Peter L.
Doing that massive layout. He builds everyone's layouts. Yeah. So he was using Pico, but then he would also use micro engineering for curves, because the micro engineering holds the curve.
Yes.
And then he uses a mixture of that, but they're both code 83.
Right. So it's the Walters track. I have.
And then you can also now mix code 100 and code 83, because Pico has a piece. It's about that long, where one end is code 100 and the other is code 83. And it's which is
Walters track, only one side bends, curves.
Mm-hmm.
And you put the curve side on the inner. And then what I do, and when you're doing curves, I would cut the ties off, solder the joint so the rail, because you want the curve, the movable rail to move, and literally let the rail slide, and let the joiner chop the nail heads off, the fake nail heads, chop them off so the track can slide, and you'll get no problem with a curve. But I had it on here. Where is it? Here we are.
Find that the Pico rail joiners are extremely tight. Like they're like the code 83 ones are very hard to get on there. And
they don't work with Walters. I see. Here's 2 pieces. These are Atlas track pieces here. But that's exact. You try cutting 5 pieces of track that length and make each one the same.
Poof. Forget
it. So Atlas makes these already pre-done for you in 2 inches, 2.5, 1.25 to 1.5 inches, 3 inches. I put this in between my yard ladders to get the spacings I want to spread the rails out to fill the space. So I use these.
Now, is it Pico or Walters that has the bridged piece? Like, because you were showing how you did your lift out, but there's a piece that you have for both sides, and you can lift out, and they lock in together when it comes down. And it's like that. It's like that big of a piece.
What mean the puzzle piece? You mean for the puzzling? That's one of the last. I didn't use it this time around.
But is it Walters that makes that piece, or is it Pico?
Well, the piece that you're talking about that on the last layout, they're made in the UK.
Oh.
You literally take off three ties, and you solder the track to those pieces. But then again, you need to use a Dremel because you got to solder it as an assembly, then cut the rail.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do that with this. If you read the instructions on the turntable, Walt tells you to take up a fine mill file or point file and literally file 2 bevels on the leading edge into the track. So when the train comes across, the wheels are not getting caught on a blunt edge. Again, it's a bevel.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do that. That's all I did. I filed it, nailed them down, and I nailed it to wood. Because cork, when it nailing to cork, nails tend to drift a bit. So you want it precise, use wood. That's why I changed all my my joint, my blocking for my throw bar things.
Mm-hmm.
I use wood. But I also went a step further. I haven't put them in yet. I bought screws. I ordered them. Tiny wood screws for that purpose. It's right in the caboose industry instructions. There's a part number for a wood screw from Walters. And I ordered those.
I've tried that thing as well where you put the screw in and then you lay your rail on top of the head of the screw and you solder it to it to hold the end of it in place.
Yeah.
It takes, I don't know if I was doing it right or not, but it's almost as if the solder didn't want to take to the screw at all.
Yeah, it depends on the type of screw, and you got to tin it prior. But my lift out, you saw it's just nailed down. It's just spiked. I laid it first and I cut. But if you use the sweepsticks and you cut the track and you cut the fit, then you can use a credit card for a space. You need to have space.
Mm-hmm.
That track's going to move. It's going to grow. And
I'm going to try to avoid any type of lift out or duck under.
If you don't have to have, I wouldn't have it either. But my room, I needed it.
Yeah, I don't mind a good old fashioned lift out, but I just think for what I would want, there'd be no need right now.
No,
I love the idea of having one like on a pulley system that lifts up, and then comes back down and locks into place, like maybe with like a counterweight or something.
Using a hoist, but John Skilker Valley, he did his lift out with using drawer glides.
Yeah, I've seen that. That looks
good. But I made my lift out a little bit narrower than the last one, but I used the puzzle pieces for the joints on that. I got a whole bunch here. I got a bunch more. But I did this because I wanted to get it done quickly for the layout tour. And I literally just laid the track in, nailed it, spiked it, cut it, done. And I didn't fasten the center. And it's still running fine. But just take a point file and file your leading edge to the rail so you don't have that blunt, sharp edge that the wheel could catch on.
Mm-hmm.
That's right in the instructions for the turntable.
Yeah, that's one thing I want too is a turntable. I like the idea of it more than I would like hooking it up, but yeah, they're fun.
So Steve's he built a swing gate.
Yeah, this is really good.
Now, Steve, talking about swing gates, if you want to see a swing gate built, go to Crooked River in Eastern. He has a playlist for his swing gate, and he's got two levels on his swing gate. Check him out. He didn't do it. It wasn't that complicated. You're doing a good job in yours too. I think it'll be all right, as long as the track fit together. But I thought of doing a swing gate for my other bridge there, taking the lift out completely. But I haven't decided. That's the next year's plan before I even get near that. Mystic back. We haven't left yet. We haven't been on 3 hours. Holy cow. This is your broken record, Chris. This is your longest stream you ever done on.
Yeah, last time I did a 3 hours. I think the last time I did
Yeah.
a 3-hour stream, I was just laying grass or I was doing something. Static grass or paper mache.
Yeah. But check out Dave at Crooked River and Eastern. He did a couple of videos on his lift gate, swing gate. And
I put the link there in the chat.
okay, good. Yeah, check him out. He did a really nice job on his swing gate. And he still got it. He's still running fine. Didn't have a problem with it.
Last time I went to do a lift out, it was one that would like literally lift up. I ended up doing like the track solid right across it, and I would crawl right under. But I've got a bad knee now, so
you ain't doing that.
Can't do it anymore.
Mine swings out of the way, and with a lift out, the only thing you gotta worry about, you need to make sure your hinges are higher than the track level. Mine's a 1/2 inch.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have that hinge. If you try and go lower, and I did my last lift out, I did a mock-up to prove the point before I built it. And I don't have any problem. I moved every day of the week. Move out. And track full, cars full flying. Don't have an issue over there. The only thing I have when I got adjusted, the second track, I have a bit of a high spot in the joint. So especially certain car, like a steamer, you can hear it thump because it's hitting that spot. It goes up and drops down a bit. I need to take the track off and take my palm sander and sand it a bit more. Just to take the high spot off to make it more flat. Simple fix. And I sanded all my track with a palm sander too.
What about these guys that put little cuts in their rail to hear that click-clack sound?
That's easy.
You ever hear
Just
that?
don't make a mistake on your rail laying. It's fine. That's what I do. But when you're doing curves, I find if you cut the rail heads off so the track and put your joiner in and let the track flow, and that joiner will move about 1/2 inch as you bend the curve, but it'll flow and then nip at the fit.
How's the humidity control and whatnot down there in your basement?
What's that?
How's the humidity control down in your basement?
I have a dehumidifier going the other side. That helps.
So you won't see too much change then, eh? Over time?
I'm in a regular basement, Steve, and I have an issue with mine. So I don't know how high your basement is. In fact, Scott Rails plywood for his that which came from me. I gave it to him. But I don't. Mine's only. He made it look as when I made it as narrow as I could. I think it's about 24.
Don't even get me started about your bench work. It's way too clean.
Oh, I painted today to clean it up a little more. But yeah, that's all I did. I stepped up. I don't have an issue with my lift at all. And my bridge is 3D printed. Hopefully, I get more stuff this year, and I'll be working on that back wall. But I did it. It's all me.
I haven't.
Oh, okay, good. I have ductwork too, but mine is not as that low. But then I think in the swing gate, it's just a matter of getting your track cut to fit properly. But make those. Literally take the file and file a leading edge on the entry points of the track so that the rail can catch that burr on the track. I think it's all it is to get rid of that burr.
What about the whole soldering thing? I know some guys don't solder their track. They have it set in place, but they don't solder it to allow for the moving of the rail.
You mean when you solder the joints around the track?
Yeah.
I solder mine. I don't solder turnouts
Yeah,
though.
but so some guys don't solder though.
Well, I do. If you don't solder, I feel you need more feeders.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always found that it was fine. Like you solder your connections, um, always solder on a straight and then curve your rail. Uh, I never really had any issues with that.
No, when I do a curve and I have more track, I will solder the track together in 2 or 3 lengths, and I will literally cut away the plastic notch just so the joiner can flow better. And when you get into the joint, that joint's going to slide. That's why you want to use Walters Atlas, because only one rail slides.
Mm-hmm.
And so you curve it and put the curve on the inside and let it curve. You'll watch the rail move, and you'll see your joint shift out of line with the other joint, and away you go. That's right. As you solder straight. It's the only way to make a curve. And then you start laying your track, get your one side fitted in.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Larry, DC guy, he says when you're doing track on a turnout, solder the track into the turnout and then start sweeping the curve around that. That way, the solder to the turnout, you're guaranteed less kinking at the turnout. I've never done that. That's where I use these things for.
I usually start at a turnout and then go from there.
That's right. But the curves, solder the turnout, solder the straight, then make the curve. And make sure your track, the movable track, is on the inside curve.
Yeah, I've even soldered like a full 9-foot long piece, so three 3-footers together straight, and then I'll attach it to whatever, like if it's a switch, and then I gradually go around the curve, pinning it as I go, and then I need to make sure that it's a smooth curve.
Always got a question here. My favorite model type of trains. Well, I'm a THB collector. So as far as manufacturers, I think I'm Rapido, Atlas, Intermountain. Athearn Genesis is not as much though. Same as Chris. He's got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Bowser.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, probably makes the best locomotive.
Except for steamers, Broadway is a good product.
Yeah. If you're gonna get a steam locomotive, Broadway Limited would probably I would never get a diesel from them.
No,
but I would get a steamer from them for sure.
No, the Bowser, yes, I have Bowsers. I got a few of those suckers.
What about rail car though?
I like Rapido.
Yeah, they do make some good stuff.
I like Atlas, Intermountain.
Passenger cars for sure. Rapido.
Now I do have some older Bachmann Spectrum cars. They're well made.
Bachmann, yeah.
Yeah, Spectrum though, not the.
Yeah.
And I have my Via train, which is the Walters main line.
Yeah.
It's a basic. I have a Via train. It's basic. That's fine. But the
I'm not a fan of my Charger set at all. It's so expensive, but it's like no one else is gonna make that, and I'm so mad at it. I wish it was better. Like when you run that next to an F40, even a P42 from Athearn, and the LRC cars, or even the Go Transit stuff, it's
even the Rapido ones I have, I gotta change all the zipper couplings on because they're not very good.
Yeah, the older stuff. I think the newer ones, like the ones that they're using now, are a lot better. They're still nowhere near KD's.
No,
but take what you
Well,
can get.
I have the Rapido Go coaches, and they're okay. But the ones I got my CN stuff, get that brand name, it's Rapido, but the Super Continental series, the coupler's never bad.
The trucks were really bad.
I don't have a problem. Trucks, you can replace the trucks, I guess, in time, I guess. But the new ones,
Well, the new ones, I'm looking forward to the new ones. But yeah, with the Super Continentals that came out like 7 years ago,
yeah,
I would put 148s on there and they'd be fine. But the trucks are just, they just weren't great in my opinion compared to like the newer stuff.
Well, I'm gonna put 158s and 156s on those coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough to do them all. Plus, I bought 2 packs from Otter Valley. I bought a pack of 25 pairs of each, so I got lots of couplers.
Yeah. Well, even the Go cars that Athearn did, the bi-levels, the wheels. I mean, you have to hand fix every single wheel set, and then I put number 5s on them, and I made them run like a dream.
Okay,
you shouldn't have to put the work in. You know what I mean? Like, you're paying $150 for a set, and it's like, eh.
Yeah, I know.
But the Rapido ones out the box were amazing, and they still are. They really hold up over time. So
yeah, except for the older Rapido ones are not.
Like the passenger cars.
Yeah,
like from 7+ years ago.
Well, we'll see how the new ones come out because I ordered their anniversary special. They're $50 back to what it was priced. I ordered it's only getting from I pre-ordered it. I put my $5 deposit on it.
Yeah, which one was it? The one that says Rapido on it? The Edmonton son?
Edmonton is in a 54 paint scheme. They made a special anniversary car that you only, and they price it the same as the original price.
Yeah.
You only can get it from a Rapido. And I pre-ordered that one car. Yeah. And I figured, I look at the theory, you watch a train, especially Via, they might have an oddball car in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured I can put an oddball car in with my 54 scheme train.
Mm-hmm. Well, what they were doing for a while there, they were adding a buffer car. And it's like, so you'd have a mixture of LRC, but then you'd have a Bud car on there as well.
Yeah.
Now, most of them are Bud cars. You very rarely see the LRC cars. Well, at least I rarely see them.
I've never seen the LRC car what they look like too often.
No.
You call the LRCs.
And they're supposed to be getting rid of the LRC cars, and I think they're supposed to be getting rid of P42s as well. I'm sure they were supposed to retire those, but they're obviously going to wait until they get more of these Charger sets, right? I think they're at about like 7 or 8 sets total now, but
well, do they? Oh, gee, they must have a lot of money.
that's over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it's been going on for, but yeah, they're getting more and more. And then even Montreal is supposed to be getting the Charger sets as well for their commuters, and Ontario Northland is also getting a set or two to bring back the Northlander, which is really cool too. So you'll be able to go from Toronto to North Bay, which is really cool.
But until they start changing the tracks, because they're doing it in Oakville, the borderline, they're getting rid of the a level crossing and doing overpass.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of that reconstruction, and I know they're supposed to be doing more of that downtown.
Better if you don't have to stop for a crossing, they just got to stop at a station. Then they can move far faster.
Yep.
I think it's near Burl Oak, right on the Burlington Oakville border is an overpass they're putting in. people are not too happy with it because it's the traffic mess. But
Yeah.
to get rid of the level crossing, they make the trains go faster.
Well, N-Scale Dystopia we've been talking a lot about the routes that Go takes and how many different types of crossings, because they've got a good mix right now of going under a tunnel or having a bridge,
Yeah.
and then street level crossing as well.
You even look at right now in Hamilton, the GO train, we have two stations. They're both different tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought I always try to look at the track. They're coming through the same corridor, but they're not connected because there's a spot because the GO train track goes right underneath Main Street in the West End.
Yeah.
But the West Harbor station, it comes along the same corridor, but it's not the same track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, there's a spot I would like to go back and rail fan because it's literally, that's where I went and got 15, 20 spikes. It's right by the, if you go into Hamilton, they have the cemetery and the lower cemetery and a roadway down, one way down. I can get down there and I literally can walk out right on top of the tracks. And I'm pretty sure the GO train comes along there. But I've never been back there again. But I wouldn't mind checking it out. You get really close to the tracks for camera view, especially with the GO. But
yeah, I haven't been rail fanning in a while myself.
I want to go out again.
Yeah. Well, last time I went, I think it was the time that Mike happened to be down here, not this past weekend, but a few months back.
That's right. Went to Smith Falls.
Yeah, there was a couple of us that had gone out, and he was there.
We had a bunch of us get together in Paris. It was a good day. But I went to Paris last Friday, and I had one via train. That was it.
Was there a lot of guys that met up for that?
About 6 of us.
Oh, that's not too bad.
There was Todd came later. There was me, Mike, Sparky, and Floyd. 4 of us. And then Todd met us at the Brantford station he came on the Via. We were guaranteed one train because he was bringing it.
Yeah, he was arriving on the train.
On the train.
That's one way to show up.
And then I drove him to all the shop stations to grab to go home.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no, it was a good day. I want to go back. But I like going to Paris because you're right by the tracks. You're level. It's like Smith Falls.
Yeah.
But you don't have the yard. You get activity there, but you can sit there in a lawn chair. And that's why I like the idea of the GoPro. I clamp it to a post.
Yep.
And I view up at the train, but I had another idea, but it's $100. It's a motorized pan head, and you can put the GoPro on there, and you can stand back and rotate the camera to suit the train view and tilt up and down.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm looking into, but I haven't spent the $100 yet. I don't know about you, but it's 11:23. My wife's already in bed. And we're down to, I don't know how many left in the chat. Not very many. Let's check.
Well, you call it when you call it. My wife's is probably, dead to the world up there. And
look and see. No, where is it? Not me.
it was a great opportunity to be able to fill my cabinet again. Everything was in boxes.
Right. Having trouble with my phone stuck. Trying to see what how many people are in the chat.
This. There's all my views.
17 are watching.
There's my wood kit, and then I've got a Aurora box car there. Did you get any of those? You need one of those.
Oh, Robert's wife's in Canada. Mystic, my face on. This is on my layout, Mystic. It is Baltic birch. And for the curves. And then one thing I remember, you have to cross cut it if you're going to do a lot of bending. But that's 1/8 Baltic birch plywood. My backdrop is masonite.
Hey, James, do you have one of these? One of these box cars?
That one, the painted out one, or no?
The blue one.
I don't think so. I have one, a blue one that you featured on the Go Via show one year. I have that one.
Oh, the
painted out one.
Yeah, the Prime for Grime. That one's nice too.
It's up here somewhere. I have it though. I blame you because I bought it.
I think everyone got one. Like Mark got one. I got two at one point because there was 3 different numbers, and I'm like, do I need 2? Probably not. So
no,
I think I ended up giving one away or something. But
yeah, I have the one. But yes, I have a lot more stuff in here I haven't found yet.
Well, this blue one here, this is one of the Aurora ones. One of the ones that just came out. The
okay, I have the Aurora in the new Aurora, the cancer one.
Yeah, I think is that a 60-footer? I think so. Either a 50 or a 60. I can't remember.
Gave it to me. Believe it or not. Oh, it's on the layup. That's why I can't find it. It's in the yard. Yeah, Lauren gave me that one.
Oh, nice.
It's a 60 high bay.
Yeah,
I got 2 of those. I actually got 3. I have 3 Auroras.
Yeah, those are nice box cars. Not a big fan of the couplers, but yeah, really nice box cars.
I don't have a problem with those couplers at all, but I like the rail box and mix them up. I like mixed freight, totally. That doesn't matter about vintage, anybody. I like color.
Yeah.
That's why I like pumpkins. Like even Jim talked tonight about he likes the pumpkins because of the color.
Yeah.
And and if I wouldn't mind comparing my Tier 4 Intermountain with my Tier 4 scale trains. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful locomotive.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Even with CP always has like the best wraps and paint schemes and all that when you compare it to CN, anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure why I do CN.
I do CN as my mainline locomotive because CN is the main line in Dundas.
Mm.
We have a CP line that crosses the CN line in Dundas, but it's not as popular road. So I decided I like CN dogs, but I'm not doing. But I did buy a CP, Kansas City. It's not really CP; it's Kansas City. So I didn't buy a CP prime mover. I bought a Kansas City prime mover.
Do you like that new one that Scale Trains is doing? The CPKC?
It looks interesting. I'm not sure if I would buy it.
Well, when they were showing the 3 or 4 possibilities, I thought that was the nicest looking one. And some people were like, no, that one's ugly. You gotta go with the other one or whatever.
I wish they would do a heritage one for THB on and that kind of stuff. I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Just because of that, but they haven't done that though.
Well, they kind of did that with Via with the new Charger because they had the original Charger paint scheme and then they made it one look like the Turbo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
the yellow banana.
Yeah, we'll see. But my prime movers are CN. But I do have BNSF, but I see the CN line up here, the Dundas sub, they've had BNSF on the line. So I can mix them. They're here.
I don't think you care too much anyways. If you see something you like, you'll get it because you like it.
That's right. But I do not have any CP prime movers. Class 1 railroad stuff that move the freight.
The only foreign thing I have is that Norfolk Southern that
I don't have any foreign. Well, my BNSF is foreign, I guess, but I have that Furex, which I haven't run. You sold yours, didn't you? For your work.
I still have it, but I was gonna let it go.
I haven't mine there. I might it's on the shelf. But I have 2 420s I haven't sold. I haven't moved. And I have another Go I haven't unboxed. So.
Yeah, like before I moved, I went through and I'm like, okay, I don't need this and this and this. And then I move, I get moves settled in here and I'm going through my stuff and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I don't need. And
I know. I mean, the same thing as I get things more organized and unpack things. I don't need this. I don't need that. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, my layout before was mostly centered around, North Bay and, Ontario Northland. But because I'm doing more of a Toronto-based layout now, it's like you don't really see O&R stuff at all. So
yeah, and I run O&R because I want to run O&R.
Yeah, well, it's still fun. It's still like.
But I was fussy when it came to the locomotive. I didn't like the. I prefer the Chevron, what you call it, color scheme with the blue roof.
The yellow with the little chevron at the back. Yeah.
I didn't like the other color.
The newest one or the ON Royal?
I don't know which one is what, but the one I have, the roof is a light blue color.
Yeah, because after the chevron is the ON rail, which you have the SD75 of the ON rail, the one that you got from me.
I got rid of those.
Oh, okay. But that was the ON rail.
Yeah, I got rid of those.
And the other one that they're selling now is the Arrowhead one, where it's a very light yellow.
One you had one for sale now, and then mine's different.
Yeah, mine was the one that North Bay had commissioned.
This guy here.
Yeah. I need a couple of those for my barrel ore cars.
Well, I have those. I have the barrel ore cars too. I have a 6-pack. But yeah, I have 2 of those.
I can't wait for you to unbox those because I want to see how good they are this time around.
Yeah, I've been on about a couple weeks now. I've run some O&R. I love O&R box cars, and I bought the new Rapido ones somewhere around here. Well, I'm gonna call it quits. It's good live stream for you, Mr. Chris. Your go home.
Yeah, thanks for having me on
your show. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to do another week, but at the same time, it's nice to have conversation with you guys.
Right. That's right. Yeah. We'll have more fun, and hopefully tomorrow the strike will be all settled and we can go back more real fanning.
I hope so, because the whole. It's sad to say that the barbecue is it's either going to happen or it's not, and it's solely based off of whether there's
thanks, Robert,
going to be trains running. So
yeah, Well, guys, I want to thank you all here for joining us for this Third Rail Thursday backup plan, as I call it. Have a good night. And I think next Thursday is Go Be After Dark. Chris and Mark will be handling it next Thursday. 8 o'clock or 8:30, Chris?
8 o'clock. There's no more soccer, so I'm back to my regular schedule.
So check in there. And Monday it's live 7 o'clock on Mike's channel. Good night, Dan. So I appreciate everybody here, and everybody have a good night. As Chris always says, we got a train to catch. Good night, all.
Bye, guys.